All right, I'm going to transition us over so they can hear us now.
Wait, is this the one yesterday, 10 hours ago?
What?
The tweet? We didn't do a tweet this morning.
Okay. Nope, not yet. Well, Sir Drew, are you just basically with us as long as you stay awake and not fall asleep on the show?
Yeah, pretty much, man. As long as I can like be here cognitively present, we're good to go.
So how many of you three played Halo? Because I watched Drewsky playing and like I was like, hey, is he still awake? And sure enough, he was. All of you, y'all suck. Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm. Was I not supposed to?
No, you're fine. No, mine. If I actually got that email, it's probably buried in the void of email.
Oh, that's
right
why.
now.
I feel you, brother.
There's a way to get in. I did not get the email, and I got in on PC
You
and
gonna
Xbox. There's a way.
You're gonna need to refer
Share
that.
that.
To, yeah.
Share that information.
I mean, you can't online.
You know who also did this with me is Teddy and I.
Of course he did.
Yeah. Knew Teddy's name would be invoked.
Teddy has 4 copies of the demo, and he's playing it at 3 screens.
We spent hours figuring out how they did it, and literally all you have to do is log in on Bungie.net and scroll to the bottom of their insider page, and it gives you a Steam key on PC, and like it's on every profile, every person's profile, and I'll show you how to do it. I'm gonna message you.
You gotta hook the console crew up. That's what we need. Some of my boys.
Console's a little harder, but I got in on both because once you get in on PC, if you have the Xbox Insider app already installed, it's easy to do it on Xbox. But Ebontis only cares about PC. So
yeah, no doubt.
That's what I do. All right, tweets are out.
Tweets are around. Let's turn on that.
Oh wow, look at me. Look at my key lighting. Am I a famous YouTuber now? Is this
savage?
Look, I got a green screen.
Hey, boys, yeah, out here, man. You're doing big things now.
That's
next stop, Drewsky's level.
I got a ways to go. This man out here.
You can get there in no time.
That's a power play. He's just a logo. He's like, I don't even need to show.
I don't even need faces, green screens. I just put a picture of what I do out there, and people know I'm that big.
Logo, the fame.
Nope.
We're gonna make you blush. We just won't get to see it.
You can get there faster than you think. Like I think that it takes a lot of time.
Did we start recording?
Nope, not yet.
All right. Okay. I'm like, I didn't record anything.
Nope. If you guys want to hit the record, everybody ready to hit those record buttons? Be cool.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah. All right, cool.
All right. Start the recordings now.
Oh, look, my mic is selected.
Yep.
Nice.
It better be.
How nice. How convenient.
Convenient.
You can actually hear my audio and back up for you. It's awesome.
So weird, these professional podcasters in here.
Mm-hmm.
Getting there. You know, I never thought I'd have to record a show like twice a week from my living room.
Yo, they just made me crazy right now. Yo, hilarious. I have to give credit to this one.
What'd they do?
Really,
this chat killing you?
There's an inside joke on Defining Duke, and they hit me with the stonks.
Oh, that's from.
It was like it was an investment quote. And yeah, they got me. I gotta retweet it. It's hilarious.
Laugh again. I was gonna say laugh again like you did, but like you peaked weird there. I don't know if anybody else heard that.
I don't know. Still peaking? I know there's a fire truck right now.
When they go by, but it's like the way.
That's what it was.
The fire truck may have done it. Yeah, I don't know. It
just definitely the fire truck.
Yeah, when you laugh and there's a fire truck nearby, the two sounds merge into a fire truck laugh.
Yeah, it's like this weird,
very strange noise.
Weird peaking. I was like, yeah. It's awesome. Fun. All right. How's everybody sound audio levels? Test.
Testing.
Travis, you want to say something?
My KD is better than Cogs.
Can you turn you up, Travis?
Oh, I can do that. Oh. How's this?
Sounds better.
What about
Yeah.
me? Am I good? Am I good?
Of course, you got those smooth vibes.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, getting your damn ice shaker before me, by the way. Shout out to Advanced GG and their ice shakers. I can't wait to get mine.
Well, it's scheduled to come. It doesn't come yet.
Mine's scheduled for tomorrow, and I ordered mine like 3 days before yours. I got all 4 colors, so maybe they're like, "Oh, this is a bigger box. We have to wait to ship this one."
Come here.
But yeah, yours was like on back order in 3 days, and yours was. I was like,
"Blow out, man."
As long as I get it before vacation, I'm good.
No doubt.
All right,
ready to rock?
Recordings are good. Everybody's good. Yeah, I think we're good. So we'll go silence on the set and get this thing started. Are you ready in 5, 4?
All right. And we are live. The last word with Lord Cognito, Ebontis, and the greatest Thai guy, Travis, that we know, back on that Friday morning campfire. A lot of things to discuss. But first, let's start with the cheetah. How we doing, E?
Doing good, getting ready for vacation. Some of you guys may know I will be gone for the next 2 Fridays. So I know Cognito and Travis will be holding it down if anything big happens. So stay tuned there, follow them on their Twitters, but I will be on vacation. So kind of prepping everything for that. I'm going to have a Master Law Sector for every day while I'm gone. So I've got them all recorded and prepped. So something at least while I'm up and gone, and then come back. I'll miss Epilogue, which we'll get into here in a little bit. But other than that, no, just kind of slowly working on prepping. I've got like 2 COVID tests that I'm going to have to do when I leave and all this other stuff going on. So made it through all of this without taking a test yet. And then now here they come. So
here they go. No doubt, no doubt.
What about
and
you,
of course,
Travis?
Yes.
I'm doing great, man. It's beautiful morning here in San Francisco. We've got Halo Infinite in the wild, doing those multiplayer bot sessions. We got Fast 9 available in home theater. It's a great day for everyone, I think.
No doubt. And I think we got like a very special guest here. So I think we gotta bring this man in right, man.
Indeed. So, welcome to the last word, number 160. Always nice to get those round numbers. And it is time to cross the Proton Pack streams. Crossplay details are here, and we have a great guest to discuss all things Destiny around the campfire this morning. We are joined today by a legend in the Destiny community whose roots are planted deep in Nintendo land. His desire to catch 'em all has been around for a while and still holds true to this day if you look at his vault. Halo is where he trained his trigger fingers, climbing up quite high in the competitive scene. But Destiny is where he blended his RPG upbringing with his shooter prowess. The campfire is honored to welcome a man who may not be a fan of bows in Destiny, but is very comfortable fiddling with one in real life. One who sees the sandbox in nothing but cones, and is the controller PC player, and who has broken many on mouse and keyboard. Hailing from the 5th largest city in North America, and buys all his Yu-Gi-Oh cards with Canadian dollars, this Crucible scientist, fellow owner of a full vault, and the 420-69 sniper man, Drewsky, how are you doing, sir?
Wow, I'm like overwhelmed by that intro. That was like, damn, really hyped me up there. Jeez, I'm doing well, man.
It's morning. We gotta wake you up.
Right.
We gotta wake you up.
Yeah, I mean that was crazy.
How you doing?
But yeah, I'm doing great. I'm happy to be here to hang out and talk and just talk about the game and whatever else.
Well, we definitely want to get to know our guest a little bit. So, Cog,
Yeah,
what would you like to know about this Crucible man?
We got to get into, before we get into all the great Destiny stuff, we got to get into this gaming history, man. I've seen some very cool titles, obviously some standouts with Pokemon and stuff like that. So, like, game system wise, I saw obviously the NES stuff. I mean, Super NES stuff. Like, was that kind of the first consoles you kind of got into? I just want to know, like, give me the origins of the gaming history.
Yeah, I mean, for me, gaming started like watching my cousins play on. They had like an SNES, and I think it was like my uncle's SNES or something with Super Mario World, and that game was just like, wow. To this day, I think it's still so addicting. Like, I love that game.
Still holds up.
And then that like evolved into like and then like other cousins like hand-me-downs. I inherited like the Game Boy Color with Pokemon Silver, and those were like the very first games I played, and that slowly evolved into like the GameCube. Where I love like the Legend of Zelda series. There we had like a promotional pre-order disc for Wind Waker that had like Ocarina of Time on it, Majora's Mask, like a bunch of
Nice.
like the N64 games, which is like really
Ooh,
cool.
Okay.
Yeah,
Like,
GameCube's
didn't
got
even
them, but
get
we
to
can't
listen
get
to
them
it,
on
but, like,
Switch.
yeah, I know,
That's
right?
a super.
Yeah, it's
That's
like a
super rare
pre-order
disc, by the
promo
way.
disc. And I still have it. Yeah, it's really
Yeah, me
weird.
too. I have it as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's this
nice.
really weird, like super rare. It's actually super expensive if you try to sell it or buy it online, but it has like
Oh,
all
really?
of the, yeah, it has like all the OG Zelda games, and then it also has the Master Quest version of Ocarina of Time, which is pretty hard to get your hands on actually, unless you use an emulator. So, yeah, I have that disc too. But yeah, that's how I know you're OG when it comes to Nintendo. If you got one of those.
Nice.
Hold
nice,
on to that
nice.
collector's item,
Yeah, I had no
apparently.
idea it was as rare. That's where I started like loving Zelda, and like all those kind of games like stemmed from like that era. And I wasn't allowed to play first person shooter games for a long time. I remember going to like
Ah.
middle school,
Just
and like it was like the cool
Canadian
thing. Like
morals.
Halo was like the stuff. Yeah. Well, my like a long time ago, my mom did work for like applying like ratings to things, so it was like, yeah, I wasn't allowed to play because it was rated
Oh.
mature.
Like
Rated
ESRB style
Your
type?
mom's a narc. Wow.
And it was like, yeah, so like for Halo, it was like the only exception because I had to like write a like almost like a paper explaining why it was like sci-fi and stuff like that. It was crazy because in
Wow.
school I had to listen to my friends every day. Like everyone was like talking about Halo 2, Halo 3, and like comparing their like Bungie profiles. I was like, man, this sucks, and I
Mm.
wanted to play so badly. And then I
Yeah.
was finally allowed to, and I like went super hard, and I got destroyed by all my friends. It was so bad. Like someone got OBR'd by me. It was like the utmost embarrassment for them. I was so terrible. But I think because of that, I wanted to get really, really good and show them like, yeah, I can be good. And that's like, and then it's history from there with FPS.
Nice.
It's
So you
really-
had to prove to mom why
Yeah,
you were
and I'm like,
allowed to play.
yeah, it's like it's sci-fi. It's like Star Wars, you know? Like
Nice. I
that's pretty
love
funny.
it.
It's fine. It's fine. It's just Star Wars. It's good.
No doubt. No
Yeah,
doubt.
it's like,
Good.
That's what's up. Oh, real quick before I pass it over to Trav. Zelda, since you're a Zelda guy, which is like your favorite Zelda? Was like your
oof,
iconic
man,
Zelda? If you had to pick,
that's such a hard one.
Picking children over here.
yeah, you got to rank your
Oh.
kids.
I feel like the safe answer for me here is Ocarina of Time, but that's like such a like typical answer. If I had to go with like a
Yeah.
little bit more of a risky answer, I guess Twilight Princess.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. I respect
Yeah.
it. I respect it. Had to
Hard
ask
to
that.
disagree on Twilight Princess, but I understand.
To
I
be
understand
fair,
because I also
as I like
want to say
it.
Ocarina, but it's just so basic. Yeah.
Mhm.
There's something that it
Yeah,
did
right, it's
though, like because I played the 8-bit Zelda one. I went through, played that, had enough rupees, got the dumb blue ring. I remember that stupid grind when I was a kid, and all of a sudden it's like it goes. You see Mario do the Mario world, but it's still Mario, and then all of a sudden you're in this like hack and slash 3D adventure in Ocarina, and something about that switch that always still like sits in my mind. It's like it's hard not to vote it near the top of the importance of the game for me. So I'm with you.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, like a lot of my controversial picks for things, I like to justify really because I love the music in Twilight Princess. It was
Oh,
like
yeah, I did
Zelda
too.
for me was always about the music. I played
Yeah.
violin from a young age, and a big reason was because of Legend of Zelda and like hearing the strings and the music in that. And like I loved Twilight Princess music especially. So
We need to
like,
get
I
you a
will defend my
collaboration.
controversial choice with my usual music trump card. So yeah.
Salute. No doubt. Trav, what you got for Drewsky?
Yeah, diving into first-person shooters, since you said that you were rubbish at Halo, I'm wondering what was the first shooter where you sort of turned the corner and felt like you were a tryhard? Because I know you're a tryhard in Crucible, trust me. So what kind of got you into that competitive spirit?
I think the tail, like so when I started playing, I was like super, like I love just party game modes and Infection and the custom games Halo had, and it was like all about the social thing and like hanging out with friends. And my friends used to like put me into MLG matches where they would stack the teams and have like their team versus like me and like 3 other like I don't know, people that I just knew online that were like clearly worse, and they would spawn kill me for like
Yo.
half an hour at a time. And so my relation early to what MLG was, I didn't even know what it was. I was just like, this is the game mode that they put me in to like destroy me for half an hour. So I was like, I hate this. And until one day where I like finally like looked at it and I was like, wow, this is like a sport. Like this is like really cool. Like there's teams and they treat it like a sport. And like that was so fascinating to me that people were like playing in tournaments and winning money. And like I love soccer or football growing up, so I related it to like that. But I was like pretty bad up until I think in the moment, I want to say Halo Reach, maybe nearing the end of Halo Reach, I started to feel competent. In the moment I felt that way, but in retrospect, I really want to say Halo 5 is when I got decent. I don't know. I felt like I think I went through a thing where like I think a lot of kids do. And this is why I kind of have empathy for it, where I had a nice big ego at one point, and it's just like, thought I was a lot better than I was. So
You thought you was hot.
Yeah, exactly. Like I was like, well, like, between like 15 and 17 years old and like playing these games. And
I'm the best. I'm the best with it.
I beat all the friends in my neighborhood.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, and it's just like, so in the moment, I want to say Reach is where I started getting competent, but the truth is Reach is when I really started to like, kind of like understand like the bare minimum of like how to play competitively. And then maybe I want to say like Halo 5 is where I actually could be more comfortable in saying like, yeah, I was good at it.
Modest.
Good
That's
to know.
good.
Yeah,
Just clicking heads over here.
Definitely feel you with thinking that you're the best PvP player in the world, 15 to 17. I think if you ask like the typical 15 to 17-year-old PvP player if they know the greatest player of all time, you'll get that Obi-Wan Kenobi response. Well, of course I know him. It's me. That's just like the typical.
And that's your one Star Wars reference for the day.
Thank you. I got it out early.
But I wanted to kind of shift from like, obviously, you enjoyed Zelda, kind of the action adventure stuff. You had shooting and a little bit of the RPG. How did you get into trading cards? Like Yu-Gi-Oh is something I've heard you talk about forever. Like anytime I've heard you anywhere, I swear it pops up. It's like Travis in a Star Wars or Fast and Furious. Like he's always got one a show. I feel like I've heard you talking about a lot. How did you get into that? And like how deep did that rabbit hole actually go?
It was really funny because it was just something that me and my cousins had in common, and we all like really enjoyed. And like our oldest cousin like got me into it when I was like really young. So like we always enjoyed it from then, and I enjoyed collecting the cards when I was a kid, as many other I think kids in like my age group did. But it was something that we started doing again because me and my cousins wanted to find something to like have an excuse to do to spend time. And what we really stumbled upon was like this really awesome scene in Toronto of like both really cool people, but like really competitive people. And those guys are some of my best friends now. And I like, there's the people I hang out on Discord with and like chill with. And some of these guys have like gone to Worlds and like, some of them a few times. It's like, they're insanely good. But having that mix of like, just an IRL like fun hobby competitive thing that also has like some really great people I enjoy spending time with, and this community that I uncovered really like ramped up my passion for the game. I still play like semi-casual competitively, like a healthy medium there, but the community was really great. And it was also at a time in my life where I was doing nothing but like playing video games and making YouTube videos, and had like very little like face-to-face social interaction. And I didn't realize how much that mattered in the moment, but like there's something about obviously being in the presence of someone else, and like like seeing the look in their eye, and like that interaction, and like going outside, that is so good for your mental health, I think. And that was part of that, so that's why I'm very fond of that game in general.
I agree. It's funny you said that because I know Addict, he's he's huge in the Yu-Gi-Oh, and he would tell me the stories in the competitive
Really?
scene. Yeah, oh, Lord Addictus. Oh, he's a beast. Like he would go hard, or he would tell me like he was in tournaments. They would fly all over the place, and yeah, Addict, right? You wouldn't think him. I didn't see it. Same thing. And he told me the Yu-Gi-Oh stories, and I was just like blown away. So to hear Drewsky talk about it, it's like I completely understand where he's coming from. And then he made a fantastic point, obviously, about the in-person competition, because I'm the older gent on the cast here at the
Not
last
by
word. So
much,
it's
but
like
yeah.
I'm the old statesman here. So look, it's important. I think that like you said, being able to see your opponent. Also, I mean, I don't know how Yu-Gi-Oh is. I'm assuming it's not. Is there trash talking in Yu-Gi-Oh? Let me just ask that first before I
Oh,
even.
for sure.
Oh,
You've
if there
activated my
is,
trap
very
card.
light, to be
Classic.
honest.
Drewsky, what did
It's
you
like
experience
very,
that?
it's like it's so if there is, it's like super super light because it's they take that stuff pretty seriously. I think it's all like
Okay.
moderated or like there's like judges. So
Oh,
you'll get
okay. So
warnings,
you,
like, yellow cards.
okay.
You
You're
get
the
2 yellow cards in
professional
a tournament,
setting.
you get a game loss. So like
Okay.
it's it's
See, I was hoping that like when stuff got real, we got to see like Kami Drewsky come out, like you got a deeper voice and eyeliner or something like that. Or
He
this is
changes
like a deep
personas.
pull for people who actually know Yu-Gi-Oh, but like I actually
His hair
recently
goes
I had no
spiky and
interaction with
three-colored.
Yu-Gi-Oh. Exactly. He's like a foot taller somehow. Nobody notices. Uh, I knew nothing about Yu-Gi-Oh my entire life, and then like last year during COVID, one of the things I did with my time is I was like, I'm gonna get to the bottom of what the heck is going on in Yu-Gi-Oh, and I watched the entire show, and I was like, wow, this is nonsense, and I so now I know way too much about the Yu-Gi-Oh show.
Oh man.
that's so funny.
No, it's cool. I mean, like I said, like you were saying before, it's just like that physical, that human interaction and competitiveness and the tension of it, knowing that there's a person there, it's different, and it's good for mental health. I think it's good for competition in person versus just the online thing where it's like a faceless entity kind of thing. So salute to you on
That's why we
that.
need our GCX time. Can't get here soon enough.
Yeah, I know. Hopes
Someday.
abounds might be for me, so we'll talk about that offline. But
Yeah.
the only thing I was gonna say quick before I give it to Travis was just obviously it's this game, Destiny and stuff like that. But prior to that, you mentioned Halo, fighting for that in the house to play it, and then you're getting into it. So was it Halo was your transition to Destiny, or like Destiny was still separate? I just want to know like. Well, because I know some people have Halo as the backbone that transitions them into Destiny, and then some people are like, I've never played Halo, and or whatever, kind of thing. So I'm just curious that relationship with Halo and Destiny with you.
Yeah, I mean, I think Halo is the game I spend so much time in because, like I said, I was so inspired by the thought of like this is a sport. It behaves or people treat it like a sport. There's teams, and like again, that always just like hit home for me. And like I always chased. It was always about chasing that dream of wanting to be a professional player or like compete at that level, and however that feels. So Halo is definitely the backbone for me. I got into Destiny because Destiny came out in this period of time where like I think the Master Chief Collection was like not out yet and like Destiny was out for a month before, so I didn't actually know anything about Destiny. I went in completely blind. I didn't know a thing about it. I didn't know what to expect. I played the beta maybe, which was like fun. It felt good, but not too much. So going into it, I had no expectations. I didn't know anything. Honestly, at that point, coming off of Halo Reach, I didn't have high hopes for a Bungie game because Halo Reach wasn't the most, I don't know, beloved Halo in terms of, I think, competitive standpoint. Maybe
From the PvP standpoint, I feel I would just
yeah, exactly. So like I was like,
the
oh,
PvE
well,
guys would have came for you just then, but the PvP guys, they definitely agree.
yeah, even the custom game options, like it was like super fun. The game was like awesome, but like to me, I think for the competitive portion specifically, it wasn't phenomenal. But so anyways, that like because of all those reasons, I had like literally zero expectations for Destiny, and I ended up playing it and getting really into it. And what I think really set me over the top was like the fact that I had like this PvP experience that felt familiar-ish, but unique in its own way. But on top of that, that whole like MMO quote unquote aspect. I
Yep.
know that we only recently started coining Destiny
I know.
officially as an MMO.
Shout out to Luke
But,
for saying it.
yeah, you know.
Finally.
But like that, like Vault of Glass was just something that felt so grand to me. It was like this accumulation of like so many things I loved about games. It's like there's this fun competitive PvP aspect that feels like this hybrid of maybe like COD and Halo, but unique in its own way. And it's got these really cool weapons that have like these beautiful, neat aesthetics to them that feel like give them a personality, and the aesthetics match the function. And then there's like this raids that feel like something out of like what was the most relatable thing to me at the time was like Legend of Zelda, right? Which like, so I loved all these things, and it kind of came together in one place, and like that made me really love the game. Of course, like after Master Chief Collection came out, unfortunately the launch of that game was incredibly rough.
Oh
So
God.
like I just kept playing Destiny. I did go to a tournament for that game soon after, but like after that I didn't play it much again, because of like how like rough the launch was.
Oh,
And
yeah,
yeah,
it's
and that
brutal.
kind of like helped me stick with Destiny. Also, I think that's like when I just randomly uploaded a video because I got a new capture card. It was like no sound or anything. Just like, hey, this is where you get the pre-order bonus. It's literally just a minute of me walking up and like grabbing the pre-order bonus, and it got like a few hundred views or something like that.
Woo!
And I was like, whoa! I was like,
He's a
oh,
star.
like,
First
like
one.
that's neat, right? I was like, whoa, like that's kind of neat. So maybe I'll play this game more. Everything's pointing to it. So yeah.
Nice. Yeah, tremendous, man. Before I pass the drafts, yeah, it's funny I love the way you describe Destiny because I think that's the first time someone verbalized exactly why I fell in love with it, and I felt like I was getting away with something. Like I was cheating. I was getting like 3-4 games in one. Right. I was getting this PvP component. And at first, I remember didn't like. I was just like, I thought PvP was weird, Travis. Like, I thought it was like, I was like, why do they have this opera voiced guy talking? Like, I didn't understand what was going on
Best
at
edition
first, right?
ever now.
Yeah, now I love, my man. What's my man from The Walking Dead?
Lenny James.
Lenny James. Yeah. I remember being weirded out. I was like, what is this, right? And then you get into it. I'm like, all right. Like Drewsky said, it felt familiar, though, because, you came from Halo. You came, that part. Then you had a campaign, you had a PV, and then like you said, with the weapons, with this, I remember reading like flavor text, and it was like, what is this? And exotics, and you're like, yo, this is really cool, kind of thing. And then obviously the way you described the raid was literally how I felt. It was just like, is this a dungeon? It was just this whole unique thing, and I've never played like an MMO or a cooperative type of game like that. So yeah, great description. I felt like all these different worlds into one package. So I just wouldn't get bored. But enough bloviating for me. Trav, what you got for me, man? Because we can get into that all day.
Yeah. No, I think that's interesting that you bring up like the uniqueness of the feel of PvP in Destiny, because it sort of has a really unique role in like the lexicon of like multiplayer games, because we were used to in Bungie games having a narrator who said like, oh, you got a double kill and that sort of stuff. But we weren't used to like this guy talking over who was like in canon in the universe and almost like giving you bits of narrative in the PvP. And it was sort of jarring at first. And now it's like almost natural because you have like games like Overwatch and PvP only games where like the whole point is that you're getting narrative while you do PvP. But that was sort of a new element, a new aspect to I think the FPS world when Destiny did it. So I think I totally remember that. I think it was during the beta. Shax was like shouting things at me, and I was like, "Who the hell is this guy? This is such a weird, like, what's going on right now?" But you liked it, and you grew to like him over time. And it's funny, you almost never interact with Shax outside of Crucible, but you feel close to him because he's always in your ear, right? And I think there's a certain power to be able to do that over time. So you mentioned the raid as being the reason that you kind of like stuck with Destiny, and it was the reason that you the light bulb kind of went off. And I think that's true of a lot of us here. It's certainly true for me. I reviewed the original Destiny, gave it a 6 out of 10. But when that Vault of Glass came out, it was like, all right, this is a different game now. Like something has really changed. So I definitely appreciate that. When was the moment you realized that the PvP connected with you for Destiny? Because I know a lot of people, especially people who are used to Halo's very high bar for comp, kind of look at Destiny as, it's not really built for comp. It has hundreds of weapons. It's never been balanced in any iteration of its sandbox. So when did you sort of start to align more with the PvP side of things, and why?
That's a tough question because like you said, like I think a lot of people like look at Destiny, it's like not that competitive game. And I don't think I ever thought of it like that for a long time. I always thought it was just like this like for fun game where I want to use things that like look cool to me and like do well with them because they look cool or feel cool. Again, it was like this. I felt like it scratched this weird itch of like being not quite Halo but not quite Call of Duty. It was like this kind of cool mix that incorporated its own aspects with the abilities into it. And it felt really awesome. Like I always loved the Blade Dancer. Like that was my favorite class, and I played it all through Destiny 1. So like that class just felt so awesome. That that kind of fantasy that it had to it. And then like it was like again this accumulation of like the fantasy, the functionality, the sandbox, whether you're using something because it looks cool or it's effective. So but it was for fun for a long time. I only started taking the game quote unquote more seriously was like towards the very, very tail end. And it wasn't even, I don't want to even say like in a great place at that point in Destiny 1. So I want to say that I really, really, really took it seriously in a Destiny 2 beta or year one.
Interesting.
Because it felt more like Halo to me.
Even during Trials debut House of Wolves time?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people, usually like regard that as like the mecca, I guess, of Destiny 1 PvP. I actually I stopped playing for a long time right after that came out. And like I just wasn't playing video games a lot, to be honest. So
Sure.
I wasn't like I played occasionally. It's not that I didn't like it, but I wasn't sold on it, I guess. I don't know. I liked vanilla. Like I liked D1 vanilla a lot. Like if I had to compare like my favorite times in Destiny was like D1 vanilla. I liked D2 year 1, and then I think I liked Forsaken. Like those are like my 3 favorite times where I was like really in love with the PvP. So I don't know. Like I know a lot of people love that time. Maybe I wasn't into it enough, but it was never like just a memorable time for me.
Fair enough.
Yeah, like before we go too far into Destiny, because I want to transition with one piece when you talk about this like month of chaos for you. But taking away from that, I did want to take a second. Collaboration between you and Lindsay Sterling win.
Oh, yep. That's I love Lindsay Sterling. She's super cool. I actually met her once.
Really?
Yeah, so this was like when she was like really small. Like not nearly as big, I guess, on YouTube. I went to one of her concerts, and she was like she came out back afterwards and like say like hi everyone type thing and signed something for me. It was like super cool, and I got a picture, and the picture was taken by my friend, and it was really blurry, and I didn't see it till after, and I was like
I'd be so mad, dude. Like, you gotta have that trusty person on the camera, man. That's
yeah, lesson learned. I love Lindsay Sterling. Like stuff like that was like always super inspiring to me when I would like struggle to find appreciation in the violin.
Yeah, because it was like you said you've done violin and piano for a while off and on, but you said you're kind of getting back into it more seriously now, or more recently at least.
Yeah. I haven't played violin in a while. I'm probably quite rusty. I plan to hopefully go back and take lessons soon enough, but I recently got myself a new piano, and I've been playing that and practicing very, very hard. Music is something that is near and dear to me, and I've played for a decent amount of time, but like I really, really want to like make it something serious and committed to being a part of my life. So
nice,
no doubt.
Good to have a little culture with our gaming.
Yes. Gotta have culture.
Also explains the love of Bungie games. Always have.
Amazing
music.
Excellent scores.
Yeah, man. Yep.
I had what was the Zelda 25, the orchestral one that they did too.
Oh, I love that. Oh yeah, I love that so much. So
like listening into my car like a big giant nerd driving around and be like, look at me, and I'm like got like orchestra music in the car, and it's all Zelda, and I'm just like loving every minute of it. I'm like, I don't even care what you're seeing in here. I'm having a blast. No, Zelda's music is
not
kind
live
of
in college. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, Zelda's
Mhm.
music was pretty iconic. But yeah, as we kind of transition into Destiny, the one thing I wanted to ask about, you said you've got quite a story about, you said kind of your top moment in the franchise before we get into the recent events, kind of right around Forsaken. Something was going on with you. So what happened there? What happened around Forsaken that seems to be a big one for you?
Yeah, so I mean, I think that's the time where I started to. I think that I had both a good amount of personal growth in that time, but also like that's where I feel like my content started to like really become like a little bit more solid, or I was like getting a little bit of traction. So it was both again personal growth and traction behind my content, but something that me and Cam, I guess the story starts here. We always tell this story. This is like our like I don't know bar story we joke about. Me and Cammy Cakes, we joked about when we saw the Luna's Howl originally in that, what was it, Forsaken PvP preview or something.
Mhm.
Um, we everyone noticed, or some people noticed, that it was like, yo, that was a 180 hand cannon that can 3-tap, right? Which was like crazy. And
Mhm.
I think like as more details came out, like they realized that was going to be the pinnacle weapon, because that was the second after Redrix's.
Oh yeah, yep.
That was gonna be the pinnacle weapon, and we were like, "Yo, what if we got that, and we also like jokingly, setting our bar high here, like got world's first and last wish, and like took our Luna's Howls into last wish, and like just completely, as we say for lack of a better term, shit bucket, and like just like go no, absolutely no life and do it." And we joked about it, but we were
Mhm.
like half serious about it. So
Yeah.
like that month leading up to Forsaken, we were playing a lot. We gamed a lot as well, and like gamed a lot with a lot of friends, and got a lot of Redrix claymores and helped people get Redrix claymores, and it was just such a fun
Tricks.
time where it felt like I was both growing, or I felt I grew or was growing as a person, but also like gameplay wise, and we had this great group of friends. So it was just a lot of really memorable moments going for the Redrix. But then after Forsaken came out, or sorry, I'm trying to organize here. Before Forsaken came out, there was like that 1 week period
Yes.
where the weapon system switched, but the new weapons weren't out. And that's
Mhm.
actually like was a super, super fun time. I thought it was incredibly well balanced, because we didn't get hit with some of the power creep which followed in Forsaken.
Oh yeah.
Uh, so I remember that stuck out to me. Okay, so timeline here. Forsaken releases.
Mhm.
We were going for we were going for, obviously we were gonna raid for last wish and go for world's first. No, that was the dream.
Mhm.
And we did end up like going and getting like, not going to level, but first things first, go get Luna's Hell. And comp at
Ah.
the time was just like a nightmare. It was like,
Mhm.
man, you were waiting like hours for a match. Like we did things like, I'm not gonna lie, like we stayed, so in survival, if you get to no lives remaining, and if you killed someone and then killed yourself like a second later, it would tie the round. So we had to get solar kills. So like we're like, we're gonna have to wait an hour for a game, so let's just keep this one going as long as we can.
Oh
Yeah,
my
you guys
gosh.
kept doing the top. Wow.
Yeah, it was like there was some crazy stuff. But anyways, like we ended up like doing some crazy things to get the Lunas, and then we finally did. And that quest, it was easier to get the points than it was to get the quest done, because you couldn't get games to get all the kills you needed, right?
Mm.
Um. So, anyways, we got that, and then we like saw there was another step, and we were like, oh well, what is this? And then that's when the Not Forgotten got discovered, and we were like, well, we have
Ooh.
to do this
That.
too, right? And we were like looking at each other like, right? And then yeah, so we ended up doing it, and then I remember we ended up having only 3 days, 2 or 3 days to level, something ridiculous. And it's like, dude, we got like a bunch of friends to like rally us through. We were up for like, I don't know, I think we were getting like 3 hours of sleep per day to make sure that we were leveled for the raid, because we told our friends, like, we rest assured, like, we will be ready. Like, you don't gotta
Mhm.
worry, we will be ready, and we're gonna get these guns. And yeah, we were like up around the clock, and it got so close to the point where like, if we so I don't know if you guys remember when you're leveling through Forsaken, there was like one public event that was like bugged or something, where like if you missed it, you could potentially wait like an hour
Yes.
Yeah.
to like get it again. And like we we were there like a minute to spare, like leveling through the campaign, getting to that point. It was like crazy how fast we had to be, and it was just hilarious to look back at. And we hit everything we needed to. We literally got 3 hours of sleep before the raid. Woke up like minutes on time, and then like did the raid. And we didn't know how long Last Wish was gonna be.
Oh yeah, that was a raid.
And we all know how long Last Wish was. So
24 hours and about 2 minutes.
Another discussion.
Oh yeah, that world's first series.
Exactly. And we were up for 24 hours.
Oh my god.
After that 3 hours. Yep. It was disgusting. I don't know how I did it. I will never know how I did that, or Cam did that together with me. That was gross. But it was super memorable and funny because we ended up getting, I think, like 6th place or something.
Oh wow.
Congrats.
Something yeah, like it was just something much better than we ever assumed with this stupid gag or like stupid meme that we were like joking about. And it was funny because I think like one of the engagements, I think it was a Shirochi, where we were about to wipe, and like Cam was like the last one alive, and he was at a special, and he was just like using not forgotten, which at the time did massive damage because like he hit the 2 headshots, proc Magnificent Howl, and it would just keep trucking with each shot, and we cleared it for that reason. We were like, yes.
Wow.
Yes, they're not forgotten. We did it. It was just so stupid.
The whole stupid grind was worth it.
Yeah, exactly. Like it was so stupid, but like looking back, it was some of the best memories I had with like my group of friends and with Cammy and stuff. It was hilarious.
Nice. Man, I remember that. That was a time. That was a time. The grind, I forgot the Pinnacle grind, and the fact that you got to use it to raid, I think it's just hilarious. But yeah,
it was so funny. But yeah, I mean, like, and the discovery aspect, like that unknown with like the Dreaming City and everything.
Oh
and, like, learning about everything, and even the unknown of like Not Forgotten. Oh, it was just what a time, what a release.
No doubt.
Really sad we are, quote, never getting one of those Forsaken style expansions again.
Correct.
Yeah.
Like that one hit
it
different.
Was beautiful. It did. It really did.
That definitely had been there. Now I forgot, definitely top 10 rated. Oh, you got a super chat there, E. You got your super chat.
I know. I saw it. Yeah, Forte in here. Love the power squad of Cognito, Taiga, and Ebontis. Glad to see our cones are all in a line. Happy to see you on YouTube while I struggle working. Yeah, we're keeping people awake this morning, and we apparently are keeping Drewsky awake as well. Just got to get him hyped with these stories, Halo talk. Just got to mention Yu-Gi-Oh! Ears perk up again.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Yep, I forgot he's good to go. That's what's up, man. I love it.
Yeah, one more question I did want to ask. How do you feel being the infamous creator of the Stasis breaking Shadow Dive, sir?
Yeah, talk about it.
Hey man, I'm cool with it. I love it. Whenever like someone like oh, you're the person that started this, whether I did or not, I know I know it's like not the most I don't know, some people have a problem with that. But anyways, whether I did or not, like some people like brand me as the poster boy of it, I guess. I'm like totally fine with it, man, because like I'm someone that like it, to me, the way I always saw that was like I loved it because it was I hate shotguns. Yeah, I use shotguns sometimes, but I really dislike them.
I'm kind of the same way, yeah.
And to me, it was a stupid solution to a stupid problem. That's how I always felt about it. So I'm like, okay, like you get to enjoy a shotgun, I get to enjoy herder, break ice, go boom. And it was just it was something amusing to me because something the initial drop of it, don't get me wrong, was like way too powerful. It was like way too strong. Definitely. But the thought behind it was always entertaining to me because even when it was absolute meta, and even now when I see a Revenant, people like wouldn't respect it, if that makes sense. So I make that comparison to Yu-Gi-Oh! Where like there's things that exist in the game and you have to respect it. So like you have to play around it mentally, whether they have it for sure or not. Because like if not, you could like lose the game. So that was like one of those things where I'm like, okay, I'm playing Revenant, and you actively complain that I do this. Why are you flying at me and rushing at me instead of playing an angle while you have me weak with your primary? Because like at that point, I always felt like it's like you played into it. You could have played around it. Yeah. And that was like that kind of thought was always amusing to me because like I'd always see like they just keep not playing around it, but want to keep like complaining about it.
Complaining about it.
That justifies it, but like change the way like
Change the way
like
you
play
play
around it, try and
strategy.
respect it. Yeah.
Mhm. Huh, good point.
Yep.
Good engagement
With
advice.
you there.
Yeah.
With you there. People who complain about exploits in games, they're not built for PvP, also known as hunters.
Oh,
The whiners. So, yeah, that's how I feel.
I mean, like, I think that it's important to say that you are allowed to have discontent with the metagame, right?
Right.
Like,
Oh, for
you
sure.
can play
Especially
the
with
meta, you can
Stasis
play
was
against it, like,
Mhm.
yeah, and like, nothing I say about like, you like play around it, like justifies the state of it or the potency
Yeah,
of it.
for sure.
But like, if you're gonna choose to play the game, you might as well do that. Like, you might as well like play around how the game is currently playing.
I'm so glad you said that because I have an internal fight with some clanmates. I gotta call him out. He's not in the chat right now, but my boy Sinister, I love him. I love Sinister, but Sinister is a whiny and complaining meta hunter. And, like, no disrespect to the hunters, but it's just that my thing is that Destiny goes through these cyclical metas where something is just ridiculously strong, right? Something is just ridiculously the more effective thing to do, right?
Yep.
And yes, getting killed by it rapidly does get annoying sometimes. I'm not going to say it doesn't, but at some point, you make the perfect point, Drewsky. Like, if you're choosing to continue to play this game consistently, you better adapt or change the way you engage. You know what I'm saying? To the whole situation. So that is where I'm at with it. And it's just like, so the people who continue to play and still whine what's going on, I'm like, nah. You know what I'm saying? Can't. I can't co-sign that. Yeah.
And I mean, like, I think it's again, just to like empathize and try and put myself in the other player's shoes. It's like, I get it. Sometimes it's like hard to just like, it's easier said than done to just like quote unquote not play, right? If you're really having that little fun. But I have like a few like kind of trains or schools of thought for myself when I fall into those categories. It's like, it's either you accept the meta, use the meta, or find something better than it and like play around it. B, don't play, like you said. Or C, I mean, sometimes for me, there are things that I find so unfun and like that are the winning strategies that I just accept. Like, I'm not willing to do that and it compromises my fun too much. So I just don't think anything of losing to it. I'm like, okay, they are using the better thing. I'm going to choose to use whatever anti-meta or off-meta strategy I'm going to because I find more enjoyment out of it. Maybe it's something that I feel directly counters that. I don't know. But to me, it's just like, if I win, great. I'm gonna do my best to win and like and be successful. But if I lose, it's just about just not putting weight into it and be like, okay, like that was the better thing. I almost expect to lose, right? So that's how I try and temper myself.
Yeah, I totally agree. For me, it's not like, hey, if you don't like the meta, stop playing. It's, hey, if you if the meta changes, don't expect like, oh, why is the only strategy I ever employed not working in the new meta? It's like, you have to adapt to the way that the game is now being played, right? Like, if you like to just run and rush people with shotguns and now there's this perfect counter to it, then maybe the strategy of running and rushing with shotguns is not something you should be doing anymore. And if that isn't fun for you, then you can get out of PvP, or you can just accept the fact that sometimes when you rush with shotguns, you're going to get countered by this thing that seems designed to counter that. So it's just, you have to be willing to play within the boundaries of the new meta, even when it's unfair. And in Destiny, in my professional opinion, is almost always in a imbalanced state, and that's, you kind of have to accept that when you play this game. If you want a balanced game, there are a lot of other PvP games that work really hard to just give you a balanced experience, but Destiny is not one of them. It's got way too much going on in it. Its Sandbox is very complicated and a jungle, and you're just not going to get balance. And to me, that's part of the fun. Part of the fun is that it's rarely balanced, and it is exciting and constantly changing. And when I want a arena experience, I'll just boot up Halo. But if I want something that's a little more off the wall, then Destiny definitely fits that bill. So,
pardon the interruption. We have a fraudulent ninja in the chat, so if you could do the honors, sir. I'm flattered. I'm flattered that someone likes to run around with my likeness, but that is not me. So with that Lord Cognito in here, that is not the real Ninja. He's a fan, and it's cool. Respect, no hate, but you can't be in here impersonating people. Thank you, sir.
You want him gone?
Yes, please.
Bye.
Into the Shadow Realm, sir. I'm sorry, you have to get your own identity and be yourself. You can come back as you, just not me. That's all I ask. Salute.
I didn't know if that was a joke from ILP
No,
or something
it's been
that you
going
guys
on.
had.
It's other people from other channels have told me that it's been another cog running around asking for mod status. That's when you know when
I knew that. So I literally
get me a mod, Ian. I'll get the fake out.
No, I saw that.
No, that was good. That was good.
No, I just turned ILP into a mod, so it's fine.
One day he's laughing. Yeah, it was kind of funny. He was like, "Yeah, E, we got to get him out of here. He trying to get me.
Gotta get that Iron Lords podcast out of here. Yeah, who is that?
See,
this is what happens when we go to YouTube. Just everything goes off the rail. You guys don't know what's
good.
Hey, Cog, you got to respect him for living up to that ninja.
He did the whole. He did the thing.
Really
he was trying. Yeah,
Assassin's Creed his way into the
salute. Doppelgangers and all that. Respect, though. You can come back, just be yourself. That's all.
Yeah. Well, Drewsky, it is awesome to get to know you. We got some cool information that's hopefully going to change the game coming up a little bit. So crossplay, that's the big one. That was the giant piece of the TWAB. So we got a lot to talk about on this one. I'm going to kind of go through the pieces that need discussion
are we
points.
Past the interview section?
No, not if you don't want to be. We can. You got something else?
We haven't gotten to my favorite part of all of our PvP interviews. Our long running,
stop trying to make fetch happen. Seriously.
Is this a segment interlude?
Oh yes.
No, we have a long running segment here at the Last Word.
Long running.
What time?
I'd be holding up a different finger if this wasn't on YouTube.
And it's called "Let's Help Ebontis." It's one of my favorite segments.
Clearly,
it's a segment where we ask PvP mains to come onto the show and give their top tips for Crucible so that our friend Ebontis can spend less time in the Shadow Realm. So if you have any tips, Drewsky, now would be your time. Just for people out there who are aspiring to get better PvP and not have 0.43 KD like Ebontis over here. What would you recommend to them?
I think it's super broad, and you can talk about so many things, but the two things that really stick out in my head, the first one is like always review your gameplay, look back at it, record it if you want, or stream if you have to keep a VOD or something. Look back over it and identify like where you did things that you believe is like good and where you could have done something different, and like take note of that. And also like watching other great players and noticing what they do. And not only that, but asking yourself, why are they doing those things? And, I think a film review is just such a important part of improving. I know anytime that I've made like significant strides, I feel in my play, it's like usually been because of like film and VOD reviews. It's something I still do with my friends. And I think they still do that, and they do that in professional sports, everything. So I think that's a huge one. Secondly, I think mental game is so huge, and I think it doesn't matter what skill level or bracket or whatever you want to put yourself at. I think your mental game and your mental is so important. It's something that I struggle with, and I think I still struggle with, and feeling inconsistent in that. And I guess how to improve that, or how to be better at having a good mental is not dwelling perhaps on actions and not being overly attached to outcomes. I think a lot of players get like really, and myself included, get really upset when they see something happen, or
when bows shoot you,
something to go a certain way.
How do you feel when bows hit you?
Oh, I hate bows and I hate noob tubes. Yeah, it's just like don't be attached. I find that I get in my lowest lows when I'm when I'm really attached to things. I think what's his name, Savage or Kenny Vaccaro, he owns G1.
Yep.
Something that he said that stuck out at me and will always stick out at me is that when you're an athlete, you got to have a short-term memory. You know, you make a great play, doesn't matter, you
Preach.
move on. That was in the play. You make a bad play, you're not dwelling on it. It's just you're always thinking, what's the next play? What's the next thing? And I think that was like something that stuck with me, and I'm still trying to improve on that. I'm not elite at it, so lots of improvement to make. But I think that whole mentality thing is really important, more important than I think people think.
Great advice.
A couple
Yeah, I
great
mean,
tips from chat too. Gonna have to throw a few of these out there. Chibi Kim's got some good
Chib.
ones. If you're a hunter, wear stompies. If you're a warlock, wear geomags. Titans just punch stuff, so she's got all the classes covered.
Yep.
Griff has got run away from the red blips on the radar. And the final one, Outsanity. If you're bad at PvP, give your account to your Sweatlord friend.
These all seem like very bad tips, but Drewsky, I really appreciated yours, and hopefully Ebontis will too.
Yes, no, those are good. It's good to get out of your head, especially. But as you said, the short-term memory is a good thing. If you really wanted that one kill, thought you had it, then you don't get it. Don't be down on yourself. Just move on to the next thing. Yeah, you can't dwell.
Absolutely right. Especially, competitive PvP trials. Sometimes, like, I think your mindset is so important because, like, if you're losing a couple of rounds, couple of matches, and you get down or you get too angry and too overly sensitive with stuff, that can affect you. And the point you made, Drewsky, about attachment, it's okay. Switch it up. It's okay to be honest with yourself. Say, you know what? This ain't really working out, this loadout for me. You know what I'm saying? For this map or whatever the situation is. And just try different things, and sometimes I've done that and it's been to the, betterment for the team. So yeah, absolutely.
Any other questions for our amazing guest, Sir Drew?
No,
Nice.
this has been our favorite segment.
Yeah, we and Travis get to talk PvP.
I know.
Like,
I barely even need to be here. I've already got thrown under the bus, run over twice. It's totally fine.
That's funny because that's exactly what your PvP teammates say about you when you're on a team with them.
Christ.
Yeah, he's a savage. Moving on.
It's like, and banger, there it is.
All right, Dakota's got one. She wants to smoke.
Favorite raid, Drewsky. What do you top 1 or 2 raids for you?
Favorite raids, the ones that really stick out of me is Last Wish and Wrath of the Machine. I love the atmosphere and the atmosphere, the exotics that came from it, and the design of Wrath of the Machine. It's like, and I love the music, obviously, from in the Riven fight from Last Wish, the grand scale of it. Like, man, that music, the specific part.
Give me the music.
2 specific parts. It's like when you're falling and shooting the weak spots on Riven. That music that plays, like that little string,
which most people avoid because they
off
cheese.
right there. Yep. I'm like, oh, goosebumps. I'm like, just man. And then there's the one part where you have to stand on the plates in the back against Axis, and it goes like that crazy intense operatic part. I'm like,
yes, that was great.
Man,
that's great.
I love it, yeah.
Axis is very intense. I like that. Since you're a music guy, I can vibe with you on this. For me, those 2 are great. Last Wish for me is Churro and
Churro or Suro?
Whatever, Churro, whatever.
Cinnamon
whenever
sugar
you go,
okay.
I'm hungry. So at the end of the day, Churro Chi. When you do the what you call it?
Yeah, somebody feed this man.
The pacing, you stupid.
Hey, I took a bunch of crap there just fine. I get a shot here and there. Thank you.
Do your thing, brother. Take a shot. It's all good. That music is super intense, and then leaving with the heart and all that. Like I love that. For Wrath, I think what we call him, the cable guy, Vasek.
Yeah,
that one always that music always made me. I always like that one. But yeah, Raid's got they had some really good music. Like fantastic. Bungie. I mean, we'd even mention the space.
Yeah, spacewalk. I was gonna say, like, you're holding your controller. All of you hold your controllers, and you just like set your controller down and just listen to the spacewalk.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I'd say that would be my number 3. I think that's number 3 for me.
Yes, it's amazing. That's amazing.
That was the environment setup, especially if you get done with just the absolute hell. Because Atrax for me was 12 hours, and then I quit and came back later, and then it got a little easier. But yeah, then when you get up there the first time and it's just quiet, the way they set it up, just everything's muffled, the music is just the focus, and then you're out there on the just on the space station, look at the planet and the stars, and it's just you just kind of want to stop. Everybody's like jumping along, but part of me just wants to like sit there and look and not do anything for a minute. So, anyways, after Churro Chi, we'll go ahead and move on. Gotta get this man some dessert. It's fine.
Yeah, they let me go.
Now, I have an entire segment. You can live this one for 5 minutes, okay? That seems at least somewhat fair.
Man, my comeuppance is gonna be real bad when I get what's coming.
Whenever whenever we get one on you, oh man, that bonfire is gonna be real big. So. Anyway, crossplay. First, before I even go into all the details of how this is gonna work, are you guys excited for this, just in general?
Yeah,
big time.
Very much so.
Beyond, like this is huge.
Do you have like a first thing you're gonna do? First friend you're gonna play with? First?
I know somebody.
Well, besides me. I gotta get carried through PvP. That's what I gotta do, right?
Listen, man.
Yeah, and now we're gonna get to stomp people on 4 different platforms all at the same time. It's gonna be great.
Can't wait. What about you, Drewsky? Like, wait. Yeah, how excited?
I'm really excited because I bought a Series X, and I'm excited to start using that as my main platform, but still being able to play with my PC friends, right? I've been wanting to for a while. Like, if I this might be outdated, but I remember I've only scanned through the recent swab, but the way that I understood crossplay to work is like the consoles have their like own pool, and then PC is like in its own like little world. But if you join up on a PC player, you're brought into the PC world. So the PC world, as many know, is inhibited by many a cheater. And for that reason,
this is brand new information.
Yeah, right. So for that reason, I wanted to go back to console, and I did for a while, but there is a tiny bit of input delay that I'm like not used to, and I have a new controller coming in. Apparently, the new Series X controllers,
the latency is improved.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I got a custom Battle Beaver coming in. I'm still waiting on. Very excited for. But I want to go all in with Xbox and play on my Xbox as my main platform, and then like still get be able to play with my PC friends. So yeah, that's what I'm excited for. Mainly.
Salute, brother.
Yeah, and interestingly about the console pool is that the previous generation is also being merged with the current generation. So Series X and 1X are going to be playing together, PS4 and PS5, all in the same pool. Which
those 30 frames guys,
those 30 FPS
frame guys,
man. So there were some exploits a couple months ago. I'm sure you guys remember this, where like if you had one person playing on the Xbox One X or one person playing on the PS4, it would pull you into that pool, and people were using that to get trials wins and stuff like that, which kind of cheesy. But I think this was during the height of Stasis, so people were just looking for ways to like make trials less toxic. So yeah, that's going to be really interesting.
And a lot of people didn't
that's
have
something
like the new consoles.
Yes.
That's true. That is true. Yeah. So
still
it
don't.
makes sense. But they still don't. That's very true. 10 million PS5s, and who was able to buy these? I don't know. There's 10 million people with a PS5, really? I feel like I know 4 people with a PS5.
Shout out to the scalpers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that massive player pool for console. Like, I'm really, really excited. And then
Stadia too.
I believe.
Yeah, the Stadia people are going to be sad. They're not safe to hide in their little
console.
Stadia. Can't hide anymore.
All 7 of them.
Yeah, the one fire team and a solo guy.
Jeez.
Cammy
and Fallout always on Stadia. I'm like, you guys can be playing console. I can play console with you, but you keep playing Stadia, and now they can just come play console.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's get to it. That's a lot of info.
I will miss the Wild West of the Stadia, though. That was really nice to have just like this weird group of players, and some sweat lords would go there just to like, it was like a, going to the Caymans to hide your money. Like it was just this weird, no man's land out in the Stadia world.
Facts. Dudes going over there to get flawless to avoid PC cheating.
Yeah.
It was a thing.
Yeah.
It was a thing when it first came out for a little bit. For the PvP hardcore, the sweat lords were running over there, like you said. It's a perfect analogy, Travis. Like,
You know, it's really
go
sad
in
that for me to play with you guys, I'm probably gonna have to go to Stadia. If you guys, for me to use like
yeah,
mouse and
PvP.
keyboard,
Yeah,
for
PvP.
me, for me to use mouse and keyboard
Yeah.
through a, like Stadia, because I pick up a controller, I may as well just like hide in your backpack, because me and a controller is less than helpful. So it's like for me to actually play with you guys, sadly, I swear Stadia, even the lag almost would be better than a controller for me.
Well, I mean, we would mostly be paying PvE stuff like.
Oh, if you play with PvE, it's fine. But I'm just saying, if PvP and you guys want to avoid cheaters, if you join me on PC, you're in my world. So that's the problem.
To me, I don't go crazy with it in regular. Obviously, ban is going to be a little bit, but it's not to me. It's just trials to me. I always felt like you see some weird, goofy stuff, in Iron Banner on occasion on PC. But at least my experience, I never felt like, oh my God, the majority of it was there. But when we threw that trials on, oh Lord, you'll see all type of stuff. I'm like, that's not even humanly possible with this person.
No, flying around with automatic grenade launch. Yeah, no, I've seen the clips that are just ridiculous. So
that's when it really gets toxic. It's, the stakes are high and people are doing what they got to do. But I would still, play with you or my PC guys in PvP just to do it. You know what I'm saying? But we got to get into the details. There's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
In it.
So the first one, who am I? Don't answer that question, Travis. I swear you'll just come up with something crazy. But we are going to get back into the kind of the Steam naming schemes, honestly, or the Activision naming schemes that we had before, because you're going to have your Bungie name, which is going to be your player name plus a number, your display name, pretty standard, the hash, and your numeric ID. So you're going to have what you show up as your number, but you're also going to have your Bungie name that'll work for crossplay, for invites, for anything else. And the big thing to know about your name, it seems like, is if you are like Jim, rocket launcher, sniper, trace rifle, if all of those have to come out, and if you have one of those less than favorable names, those are also going to go through a filter and get basically, if they don't work, you're going to be turned into Guardian number 76543. That's it. You're going to be a generic Guardian at that point. So does anybody need to do any does anybody
Travis?
know anybody who needs to do any name changing in the next week or so?
Nah, I'm good.
I will not speak, but yes, definitely there's people in my clan who are gonna have to change the name, because on Steam you can change your name like you change your shirts, like
Yes.
you just change your name to the meme of the week, and that's just what people do on that platform. So occasionally people will spoof, oh, I'm gonna make my name Lord Cognito today and just walk around and pretend like I'm that guy. I actually got my friend pranked me on a live stream and made their gamer tag the same as somebody else I was trying to join for the stream, and then just to mess with me. I think this is for the Bungie charity stream that happened when that fire was happening in Australia. So there's definitely gonna be people that change my name, but for me, I'm the same on every platform. I think pretty much everyone in this podcast has that branding across platforms, so we're probably safe. But it's gonna affect a lot of people on Steam for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Change that kind of culture.
Yeah, Extra Set asks, can someone confirm if Thigh names? Yeah, Marisov Thives, probably not something you want to stick with permanently. My advice, actually pick something
Probably
that's
will
real.
work though.
Marisov's Thighs. I mean, theoretically,
just a name and thighs. I don't see the problem.
Technically would be okay. Ty Girl Travis, yes.
Ty Girl Travis already exists.
Oh, I know. So, you just
yeah.
Just gotta keep her around.
There.
Yeah. We had
right.
what were you gonna be? What did I say? Breakaway Pants Jim or something like that.
That's right. I forgot about that.
It was when Cog was gone, and we had Sarah on, and all of a sudden, because I don't know, did you hear this story? Because it was one of the clips, and it was Ty Guy Travis and Ty Girl Travis, and her ex had to change his name. Because Very Small Hat, she got popular and did her thing. So he was Very Large Hat, and he had to change his thing. So I was like, Travis, if she leaves you and she takes Ty Guy Travis, because it's so attached to his wardrobe. He has to change his whole look. So I was just gonna be like, you know,
These divorce proceedings are messy in gaming.
he's gonna be T-shirt Travis or something. He's gonna have to change everything. So
Yeah.
Mm-mm-mm.
Go with a middle name, something like that. Leather jacket, Jake. I don't know.
It's messy, man. You gotta plan in advance. Sometimes you gotta get those gamer tag name prenups.
I guarantee you that's in our future. That's gonna be our fight in our generation. That's gonna be what happens when we're older.
Keeps the gamer tag.
She's gonna take half
for sure.
She just takes Ty Guy.
Take note, man.
That's it.
She just takes Ty Guy and leaves him with Travis. Oh man. Well, the big thing to note on the timing of the
TV dinner, Travis. You see this comment?
Yeah, I'll say it.
Hungry Man TV dinner, Travis.
Yep, facts.
The IRL Titan. Yeah, he only works at see IRL. If you get out of shape, you got to change your name. IRL Titans in there. It's like I work out to preserve my gamer tag. Yeah.
Salute to
right.
the Titan.
Yeah. No. If you don't have those arms, you're gonna have to change your whole tag to
Warlock
or something like that.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. To
Noodle arm hunter.
Shout out to the Titan.
But yeah, definitely think about your name, because when you log into season 15 for the first time and whatever platform you log on, that's what's gonna go through their system. So remember the timing. August 24th, you're going to be watching the trailers. Hype is going to be happening. Figure it out before then. It's just my piece of advice. As for friends, the Bungie roster is still going to work. They've showed that the way you're going to be able to find your friends. You're going to be able to see what platforms they're on. You're going to be able to use their Bungie basic name to add people to it. But the big thing is, like, the Bungie name is going to be there. You know your friends are going to be there. What's your name on this platform? Here's my Bungie name, and you'll be attached. Roster system does look like it's going to be the same, but the big one is matchmaking. That's probably the biggest one of all of these things. And PC players will match with other PC players. Console players will match with other console players. Note, Stadia will be in the console pool. Fire teams with any combination of PC players and console players will match in the PC pool. PvE, everybody.
Let's talk about it. Drewsky, what you feeling, man?
Do you feel that is handled well? Any changes you'd make? Are you worried about people exploiting anything?
I think that's handled pretty decently. I mean, okay, so here's the only thing that criticism I'd give is I feel maybe they could have done matchmaking based on input. So if I'm an controller player on PC, I can still play with controller players on console, right? Because I mean, I've played like PC and like my PC runs like my Series X. Like there's no like real disparity other than like the controller delay I talked about earlier, which is like going to be like resolved with a new controller.
Right.
Like so they're pretty level playing field, I want to say. So matchmaking based on input, maybe you could have maximized that player pool quite a bit. However, there in Destiny you can swap input methods on the fly. It's not like other games. Like other games, Call of Duty, I believe Halo will be doing that as well, the input based matchmaking. In those games, like you're committed to the like you have to like go to your settings and say like change like I'm playing on this input right now, and you can't change that in game, obviously. So Destiny doesn't work like that. Like you just switch the input and it starts working. So I suppose if they weren't keen on changing that, then this is the best solution. The icing on the cake, or like the silver lining of this perhaps, is that at the very least, even if you are a controller on PC, I'm sure there are some people that will still find a way to cheat, and you can be sure that in the console pool you're most likely not dealing with any of that per se. At least I would hope. So I guess that's the good that comes out of the way they've decided to go about it.
Yeah,
I think they're trying to put a wall up between PC and console, mostly for the cheaters.
Yeah,
it still sucks. The PC cheaters is going to be no better, but it does preserve the console space as a safer space for probably their bigger player base on the whole. Steam's not small, but
Yeah.
everybody else together, 4, 5, Series X, 1, Stadia, the other 7 people that got thrown in, all of those, all of that is still going to be the biggest
Shout out
pool.
to the 7th.
Yeah. All of those is still going to be the biggest pool, and that's still probably going to be the safest. So it's like, I get what they were going for, but as you said, I didn't actually think about the input because I'm always mouse and keyboard, but I guess if you're PC and controller, they still have to debate about the cheating part, which I guess gets to be interesting.
Yeah. I'm sorry. No, sorry, Drewsky, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
But okay. No, just gonna reiterate what you said. I mean, after I thought about it, I actually really like it. I actually really like the choice they made. Especially with the mixed fire team. Because I ain't gonna lie, some people gonna have delusions like, yo, if I get the top PC dude on my squad to come over here console, and think they're gonna stay in the console pool and just wreck. Like, look, I like that. You automatically move into the pool. I think overall this is great. I just love that it's gonna be this influx of players in search. Stadia, y'all just got blessed. Let me just explain. Stadia, I tried like doing a strike in Stadia was a chore just to get 2 other people. So whoever's like dedicated to Stadia, the influx that they're gonna have is tremendous. And just from a console standpoint, being an Xbox primarily, playing, just to be able to to have the PlayStation guys in there, that's gonna be great. And forget like in PvE, just universal everybody. Like pools and engagement is going to be so good. Like that's, to me, that's why like even though I know we complain a lot about when Witch Queen got delayed, and we know the content drought, the extra long season, we're dreading it, right? Because we know they got to stretch things out. But to me, this is a thing that's really going to help during that dry spell. I love it. I think this is pretty good. I mean, obviously, like Drewsky said, we still got to see, if anything can be exploited. They'll try to be fast on the trigger with it. But I couldn't. I'll be honest. I was like, what? This is pretty fair to me. I couldn't really complain too much. What do you think, Trav?
Yeah, I think it looks good on paper, but I don't think it'll work like it is written. I think
talk to me.
like last time they tried to do crossplay, they enabled 12-person raids, right? Like
oh, you mean like
this
exploit?
Yeah, remember that whole thing? Like I think people will find ways around it. I think PC players will find a way into the console pool, or console only fire teams will get matched with PC players, and I just think it's going to be rocky. And the reason I think that is because every game that has tried to do crossplay has had issues. It's really hard. Lots of people are finding out. Yeah, and if you guys have played a game that has crossplay, it's always really rocky right when they first implement it. So I think we'll probably get there eventually. I do think there needs to be a great firewall between console and PC, just because of the cheaters. But the input doesn't bother me too much, just because I'm a guy who, when I play on PC, I play with controller and I do fine. I don't think it's that big of an advantage, but I do think that the biggest thing between playing on PC and console on controller is they actually act differently. You get less recoil when you play on PC on a controller. And so I think it makes sense to kind of keep those separated, because otherwise it's not a super level playing field. More than the input is just that the games operate differently on PC and console. So I get why they're separated. I am very excited to have PlayStation players in the Xbox pool, because they are not good at Crucible. And I am really excited to stomp on them. That's you want easy mode, dude. You want easy mode. Go play with those guys who have those unstaggered sticks on their controller, because they do not know what they're doing. You
really go fanboy this segment. You really go fanboy,
dude. I'm not fanboying. I'm just saying I have a PlayStation 5. I have an Xbox Series X. I play on both of them. I'm just saying, in my professional experience, when I want to stomp, I go to the PlayStation platform, because that's where those players play. There are a lot of PvE players. They're not very good at PvP. That's just been my experience. So, maybe it's because I have less PvP playtime on the PlayStation platform, and so I'm in
that's
like a
probably
lower
your
bracket.
matchmaking.
Might be some explanation, but I'm just saying, like, that's been my experience.
I'm gonna say
wow,
that's
these guys are bad. So
I'm gonna guess that might be.
We'll see, because if it's cross-play, because we already have cross-save, right? So do they take my stats on Xbox and apply it to PlayStation? I don't really know, but yeah, that's just been my experience. So, but yeah, I think in theory it's good. I just think that it's probably not going to work right out the gate, just based on the test they did,
growing
and
pains.
just based on. Yeah, I think there will be growing pains, and I think they'll probably be prolonged. I could even see them disabling
for a little bit
crossplay for PvP. I think that might happen where they go, all right, well, it's up and running, it's working on PvE, but there's some exploit on the PvP side. So
yeah, we'll have that week, that turn it off or whatever. I could see stuff like that.
Yeah, I could see something like that happening. I think it's going to be a little rough,
but to me,
I hope I'm wrong.
No, I mean, you could be valid here. I mean, to me, hopefully it's no different than, them implementing like turning the exotic off for the weekend. You know what I'm saying? Like, hopefully they have the safeguards in place so that if the exploits do happen, what you are saying and what possibly Drewsky are alluding to, that they have something in place ahead of time to be able to be a quick disable and, it doesn't break the infrastructure of the game. But I'm curious for E because, it's mouse and keyboard, that's his realm. Like,
I mean, I'm stuck on PC. That's just nothing's changing for me. I'm still playing with PC, mouse and keyboard. And if I go into PvP and if I choose to try and find a backpack for trials, there's probably going to be some cheaters in there. So it's like my world doesn't change. It just broadens the console pool a lot, which is good for everybody else.
But I actually meant PvE because you're primarily.
Oh,
PvE
no. I mean, for me, it's going to be great. Like if I'm on stream or like New Rad or Black Wings or Decoder, like a lot of the people that I know in chat that are like always there and they just joke to be like, hey, let's go run something. Now I can just be like, here's finally the Bungie number. Here's my Bungie code, add it in, and now let's just go play. Like that for any content creator, streamer. I mean, the people who do like helps and stuff like that, all those types of things.
That's what I'm.
For the streamers, the content creators, that's huge because you'd be like, hey, do you want to join? Here's the number. Now what they need, and I don't know if it's listed the same way it is like your Steam like game ID, because you're not going to want to have like an infinite friends list of Bungie friends. Like theoretically, I mean, it depends because people on friends lists, depending on who they are, there have been weird exploits where somebody was a friend and later they screwed up. It was like Gathalion and Broman, they like DDoS them in the middle of the raid because they like joined them up. And so stuff like that, like if you can have a crossplay, just a game join, something like that is something that they probably need to make sure, especially just for the content creators. Because somebody wants to run in, help somebody through a GM Nightfall. I can get them in for the session. That doesn't mean they need to be on my friends list for life, or I need to go trim that up later on. So that would be something.
Bougie people associate you, huh?
No, I not even for me. I'm honestly thinking of like people who like help people for hours and hours and hours. If you do that as like there are service streamers, there's a lot of them that do an amazing work. But like after a while,
want to add them. No, I get it.
At some point that list gets unmanageable. That's all. Like if you keep adding and adding and adding. So I don't know if that's something they're thinking about, have mentioned, if there's going to be like a join. Because I mean, Outriders, while it wasn't perfect, they had like that join code for your session or whatever. So I don't know if they'll figure something out like that or if it's got to be the Bungie ID. I don't know. So we'll have to see if there's a way they manage that or if you just have to be kind of diligent with the friends list. Because I mean, for the service streamer, for the content creator, for anybody who's on and I'm just playing and be like, all right, I'm going to go run a dungeon. Anybody want to join? And it doesn't matter who is in chat. If you have Destiny, you can do it. That's going to be the best part.
It's amazing.
Like that's so good. Yeah. So I mean, I just hope they give you the option.
Bounties will now be universal.
Yeah.
One for each. That's one that I was thinking about earlier.
Yeah, think about that.
Yeah, there's going to be just a lot of stuff that's just more simple now. It will also make it impossible for Bungie to reverse their decision on platform exclusivity. Giving exotics or maps to one platform.
Yes, I think that's long done.
I mean, that's over, but they, and the chips are down, maybe they make a deal with Destiny 3, or I don't know, but if they're committed to crossplay,
Rock just wants Microsoft to back that money truck up.
I've been saying it.
I don't think
it's too late at this point.
Anyone, including Microsoft. I don't think that's really helps them at all.
I strongly disagree.
It is funny though, because you think
acquire?
Like,
are you talking about acquiring?
Yeah, why not?
Why would it make business sense for them when they're getting all of their games already?
You mean Microsoft or for Bungie?
Yeah, For
No, I'm saying who
both.
you asking? No, I think for Bungie, hypothetically, they're good right now, right? But hypothetically, for Microsoft, obviously it fits the model. When they did Game Pass, you want those type of games that's going to have that consistent engagement. When they did Beyond Light, they did tremendous with their player numbers and stuff like that. That game kind of Destiny suits a Game Pass model, in my opinion, right? And then you can put microtransactions. Obviously, Test is already out here. You know what I'm saying? That kind of thing. Now, for Bungie's standpoint, to me, the only reason why I say it, look, they could stay how they are, and I'm fine. I wouldn't be mad if it happened because my main issue has always been the content stream. The issue is we consume the content too fast than they can make it. So if they had the resources and the backing to do it, then by all means, I would absolutely love it because that's the only issue right now. It's just like, we're like, damn, it just takes a while. And now they're independent. I mean, for as much as we complained about Activision's practices, which were not the greatest, we have to admit, during that time, we were getting the Forsakens, the Taken Kings. We were getting those big, meaty expansions that we
3
love.
studios in the mix, so yeah.
Right. And then you had the support studios. You had the, what is it, High Moon?
Moon,
and
Vicarious Visions, yeah.
Vicarious Visions. That's the stuff that Microsoft could do with Xbox Game Studios if they need extra help and they would get more money and resources. So all I care about is them making content and not having the droughts and, oh, Witch Queen is delayed and now this is this. And now, that's the only thing that them being independent, the burden is a lot on them. But again, if it happens, great. If it doesn't happen, I mean, I'm still good, but I would be okay.
I feel that. I guess my comment was more that, like, it doesn't make sense for Microsoft to acquire them because in Bungie they already have a partner that's willing to put their game on Game Pass and keep it there indefinitely, apparently. So like Microsoft's already getting all the benefits they would get if they acquired it. And then on the other hand, the people at Bungie are getting everything that they want from Microsoft, which is presumably money to make their game because they're on Game Pass. So that Microsoft's probably paying them a stipend every month or year, or however they have
the
it set up.
analogy.
And then
Sorry.
and I also think that when it comes to the amount of content, I think the reason there's not going to be any more Forsakens, it has a lot to do, obviously, with the fact that Activision's not in the picture anymore. But I think it also has to do with the fact that it wasn't a sustainable model. And I think everyone at Bungie talked about that, about how like that sprint to make content, and I'm sure they were doing like a lot of crunch and all that. I think that was kind of the problem, and having to meet those deadlines and then shipping stuff before it was ready because you had to hit those deadlines, including Destiny Vanilla, including Destiny 2, pretty much every release that they came out with except for Forsaken and the Taken King felt like it was half-baked and could have used more time in the oven and all that stuff. So I don't know that them having more money and more teams to support them would necessarily solve the problem of that model wasn't really working for them. So that's just my thought. But I definitely agree that there are opportunities to work together, certainly. And if I think Bungie knows probably in their back pocket that if ever a day came where they felt like they couldn't do it on their own, they like that. I mean, Phil Spencer plays like thousands of hours
that's his
of
favorite game. Yeah, like literally.
Yeah, there's no way that Pete Parsons doesn't have.
Yeah, those two talk
Phil
all
Spencer's
the time.
number on.
Yeah,
he's got Phil Spencer's cell phone number underneath a glass with a little hammer next to it, in case of
emergency,
in case of funding.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in
case
case
of
of
funding,
emergency hit
yeah.
Phil. So that definitely is a thing.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like I said, I just feel it's a direct result. All of a sudden, the switch to the seasonal model was after they broke free, and I just feel that once those support studios were gone, it's a big burden. It's a lot. It's a huge game with a tremendous base that it's very demanding for them to keep up. But again, as to your original point, I think I use the analogy. It's like, what's that? It's an Italian, like, you don't get the milk with the, that one where it's like you're dating someone.
Buy the cow when you can get the milk for
there you
free.
go.
Yeah.
So it's like y'all dating, you know what I'm saying? Friends with benefits right now. You know what I'm saying? So it's no need to necessarily put a ring on it necessarily because both would kind of get what they want right now. You know what I'm saying? Kind of thing. But I see what you said.
Odd analogies aside. Chatting with your friend. No, it works. There's probably an app for that, but chatting with your friends is going to be another thing because crossplay. And we had this discussion shout out to D Flawless and his fantastic little TikTok about all the people breaking your ears with what they're doing. All that stuff is just crazy. So, when crossplay releases voice chat,
to the show apparently.
Yeah, salute the default.
we have
Classic.
run
D.
into
Flawless, he
some.
turned our skit into a reality.
Yeah. We have run into some late breaking issues with the development and are currently working on making sure the experience is ready for voice chat between all platforms. So it is something they will be shipping later. I think that one's coming in the winter if I look at the schedule.
Yeah.
Basically they say soon after launch, actually. That one's going to be fairly close. But they also mentioned text chat is critical to communication. So PC, you got keyboards. They're going to allow later on in the winter USB keyboards for chat for consoles if they allow them, only for chat, not for gameplay. That's the one when somebody, I was like, that's what I'm wondering, honestly, when somebody's going to try and break it.
Right. Do some weird exploit to get the keyboard and mouse popping on console.
And people are in there like modding their Series X's. I honestly don't know how much you could if they control the inputs on those for text chat only takes these, input doesn't take the other way on console, but there are some smart people out there breaking stuff. So
I'd be willing to bet there's a Teddy already out there playing with a mouse and keyboard on Xbox, probably like today. Like I wouldn't be surprised if that was already a thing.
But they are working on it. But that kind of is a thing for communication, because if it's like, hey, come into the Discord, hey, jump in here, hey, voice chat or whatever, platforms are still going to be the thing where it's you can play with other people, but where are you going to talk with your friends that are?
Yeah.
So that's going to be the interesting point, and that's where who knows when Sony's going to do its Discord thing, but Discord is kind of that universal platform from PC. So if you have somebody PC in your party, I know there's a lot of people that are going to start making a Discord app. Get the Discord app on your phone, plug it in, you're good. As you said, if it could be on the consoles and just this universal thing, that would solve all of this without even the need for like in-game, because the in-game voice chat is trash anyway. Like the quality, because we sound reasonable in this Discord chat, obviously, because the quality's there. But when you go into game chat, it sounds like you're talking through a bucket. So
yeah, let me ask Drewsky something, if you don't mind. In reference to this, with the obviously, I would assume we're all a little disappointed the in-game chat's not ready, right? So like Drewsky, for you, I was going to ask you, like, as someone now, you said you're going to be on Series X, you're going to be, on console, most likely doing it up for the crossplay stuff. Like, are you is that going to be your solution for the crossplay people that you play with? Like, how are you going to handle that situation?
I'm probably going to stick to Discord. I still have my PC, of course, to use. So generally, Discord's my home to communicate with folks.
No doubt. And everybody's we just go ahead and Discord it out until you announce it.
I mean, it's the easiest one that's universal, because you can get it on your phone, you can get it on your PC, so at least those two can play. If you got an earbud, a headset, I mean, Travis has literally got one that's like, it's not even an inch big, or barely, and just tuck it in your ear and there you go. You're done. Yeah. So if you got game audio on one side, that one in the other. The best one you could probably do is if you have a headset. I haven't used one in a while, but if you have a Bluetooth headset, connect that to your phone, get the voice chat in there.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. Yep.
And then also have it take the game audio. I used to do that with the headset I previously would use. I just have it set up differently now. And that worked perfect. That would work perfectly. So if you have like Bluetooth headsets and stuff with ones that you like take both audio that they can play at the same time, that'd be great.
For Xbox guys, I highly advise the new Xbox wireless headset, the one that they just came out, because you have that ability and you can adjust. I've connected it to my phone before. I've watched a YouTube video, listened to that, so you can apply that same logic, your Discord app, have that on, and you can mix and adjust the sound levels on both, so you can get that going on, because I know this is going to be a lot for console guys to acclimate.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna touch on. I think this is a huge miss, and I think it's gonna be a nightmare. I really do.
Well, they say soon after launch. Question is when, right?
Yeah, but I mean, even if they come up with a solution for it, which I'm not confident there will be one that is like universally understood. Like, unless it's just a replacement for game chat that actually works across the board. Which I think would be fine. But even then, you still have problems with like people wanting to be in parties and quality versus usability and that sort of thing. But I think like between us, like if I'm playing with E, it's easy because I'll figure out a workaround. But if you're telling players, okay, well, you got to get Discord. Okay, well, that's an app. What is Discord? A lot of console players are going to ask you. All right, well, now I've got to make an account and connect it to my other accounts, and then I need to find your username, which is a separate username from your what I'm calling you in Destiny. And then we all have to be in a party together. And then, oh, you want me to have an earbud on one side and then a headset on the other that's staggered on my face so that it's not covering my other ear. And, oh, you want me to buy a headset that can do Bluetooth and Xbox wireless communication so that I can have 2 channels of communication at once? Like, you guys do not understand how
console guy
gobbledygook.
That's gobbledygook.
This sounds like gobbledygook to a console player and even to PC players. I'm sure a lot of them are just like doing what they're told. Oh, okay, this is easy. I can set it up in a couple minutes, but it's going to be a nightmare. And I didn't even want to think about what is the solution for Stadia? Does Stadia even have a headset? It doesn't have a console. What do you do for that? Like, I have no idea what the solution is for a Stadia player. So it gets so complicated so quick. And I think even after this patch is deployed, there's no way it's going to meet the demands of the player base or be user-friendly or usable. And I think that is effectively going to mean that a lot of people don't use crossplay. They at least don't use it casually. You're not going to see any LFGs that are crossplay because of that specifically. Oh, we found somebody in LFG, but he's from a different platform. Well, now we all have to do this dance for 20 minutes to get them on the right voice channel to talk to the rest of us. There's no way people are going to want to do that in an LFG. So they're just going to say, Xbox LFG only.
Sir.
I'm just saying, dude, this is
you don't think there's a way they can just implement game chat is the same way? Like, we acting like this is impossible.
I would love to see them implement game chat in a way that's comprehensive and makes sense. But what if you have a Stadia player? Are Stadia players just nixed now? Because what do Stadia players do for?
They have to have some microphone input theoretically, right?
They gotta have a microphone input.
Yeah. No, they use Discord. They use Discord. That's what I did when I was on Stadia. Is you use Discord separately.
Okay, but you still have a microphone, so Stadia has to be able to pick up a microphone.
Well, what is the microphone? What is the microphone attached to?
It's
what device are you plugging the microphone
into? In your browser, so it's acting like a PC. Yeah, it's like it's still PC.
Okay, so
it's still basically a PC.
I get. Sometimes it's PC. It's not always PC. It could be your phone.
Do they even have? Are they? Oh yeah, they do have. Do they have the mobile?
Yeah, you can play it on your phone. So and then you can play XCloud on Xbox, which is also on your phone. It's gonna be. I'm just saying, man. I see this coming a mile away. There's gonna be some stuff here that doesn't work, and even if it does work, it's gonna be a hassle for people, and it's gonna make people not want to play with certain types of players. I can see the Stadia people becoming black sheep in this equation, or like maybe I'm being pessimistic, but I just really
I think you're being a lot of
like over the top.
They have
literally Hey, somebody timestamp this because I want to see 6 months from now who was right about this one because I think I'm right. I really do.
I mean, by the time Witch Queen comes out, the game chat has got to be smooth. That's one of those things. By the time Witch Queen launches, the cross-platform voice chat, they say soon after season 15 launch, they've got it planned. They found like one bug, so that should. And again, wherever you're playing, whether if you're playing on your phone, whatever you're playing, they all have microphones somehow. If you don't have a microphone, you got to have a microphone somewhere. So if that works,
and then the quality of the microphone.
Now that's a whole different thing.
Here we go.
No,
but that gets to my point though, because people aren't going to want people there if it's like this low quality tin can microphone because you're playing
really good. You don't want to deal with the low quality mics.
But there's lots of people like me. There's lots of people like me who don't want to be in that deflawless video chat.
There's a difference between quality and non-functionality. That's two different things.
Yeah, that's a different argument.
I'm just saying compatibility is going to be rough.
Drew, as a music person and something with like ears that are in tune, how important is audio quality to you?
I mean, in the context of gaming, I guess is like I'm never gonna like say no to good quality. But if if what you got is what you got, I mean, we just got to be able to communicate. So I mean, I don't know. I think quality is great when I can get it, but if as long as we can communicate, I'll take communication over not.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I guess my neuroses are showing.
I think you are being extra.
I was like, you're gonna have some quality sometimes. You're gonna have the earbud that's got a blender in the background. You're gonna have some funky moments. Sure. Don't get me wrong. Be like, hey, somebody in chat, you want to come in? And they're in your ear, and you're like, what do I hear right now? And there's gonna be some of those moments, no doubt about it.
Glad.
But on the other side,
you're gonna have people with an earbud connected to their phone on Discord, and then you're going to hear all the sounds coming out of their TV, and you're going to be like, yo, can you turn down the volume on your TV so that I don't have to hear you kill every single Fallen? And they're going to be like, oh, what word? And it's going to be a nightmare for 6 or 7 months.
That's what this is. He
I'm
is
just saying, dude,
racing for the horrible quality. This is what this man is dreading all the meetings we made last week.
The Wheaties eaters.
The dude that went to the bathroom that forgot to mute.
Oh God, that clip.
God.
Did you see that, Drew? Did you see Glad's tweet?
I did. Oh,
no, I didn't.
Oh, a guy he was playing New World or something. He was in a party with somebody, and all of a sudden, some dude left his wireless headset mic on and just was in the bathroom just destroying it. And he clipped the whole thing and put it on Twitter, and it is hilarious because it's just like so perfectly captured. But yeah, that's those moments when you're like, oh God, what am I listening to? But yeah, it's all those things going on that you guys are talking about because, yeah, destroying a bathroom, somebody's microwaving food over here, somebody's eating out of a bag of chips, chomping on something, vaping which I don't even think about, and then you said it, which was hilarious. Yeah, D-Flawless nailed that one, but he's just like, take a minute, get your stuff together, let's go. I love the end of that one. But again, we'll have text chat, so that'll be there a little bit. Your text voice chat will be coming. Overall, I think a lot of this is positive because when I played the matchmaking strike playlist that they did, if I was matched with anybody on those, I never felt it. Now, I was like, I don't know if anybody else felt anything, but I mean, I had, a couple guys in my Discord and stuff, they played Outriders crossplay, and they were like, there was lag, it was pretty bad, stuff like that, didn't go too well.
Oh yeah, it's bad.
Like if they can get the crossplay to play smooth, which hopefully their test worked in anything that they've been getting set up. If the gameplay can be smooth, and if the voice chat, at least in game, is functional, that's going to be a pretty solid step. Will it be perfect? No. Are Travis's ears going to melt off the side of his head? Yes. But in the end, this hopefully, if it goes smoothly, is the big giant question, because lately things can tend to launch imperfectly, bugs, hiccups, and that's just like, I don't know if it's like people have wondered, like, are you guys queuing it? Of course they're queuing it, but again, it's the time, the bandwidth, and everything else. That's why I keep saying, take your time on Witch Queen. If it does go relatively smooth, if the voice chat gets in there at launch, it's going to be really annoying to be like, I got to go in game chat now, but it is going to be one of those things you end up probably doing to make life easy. So there's a couple things, I mean, not, excuse me, not building up your friends list. The voice chat, we'll have to see how it goes. But if they can iron some of this stuff out now, they have 6 months before Witch Queen. Witch Queen could be a smooth launch, which is why they are doing this now, I think.
Yep. There's no content.
I'm so glad Witch Queen isn't coming out this year because they need this time to work out crossplay. Otherwise, it's going to be like the Outriders launch, COG, where you were stranded on Gilligan's Island of whatever the heck happened to you.
Yeah, my box of briefs for life with no loot at my screen and can't launch the game. No, you're right. I mean, that's the beauty. I completely agree with you on that, Travis, because like that's the beauty of it, launching it now during this dead period, this extended season where Witch Queen is delayed, and work out the kinks. Take as much time as you can. I'm with E though, in the sense that the fact that they said soon after launch with the cross chat gives me confidence that that's pretty much ready. I was actually surprised the what you call it tech stuff wasn't. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, damn, that's being on PC. That's a really cool feature, especially when you're playing with randos and you just match make and it's just like, hey man, and someone sends you a quick, like, console needs that. I always felt PC always had the better quality of life with that. And shout out to Scream. He said, never tell me there's no content. I will find. Yes, we know you will find content, sir. But yeah, like I think I can't wait for that. And then with Xbox, Trav, like they have the chat. I can actually use my chat pad again that connects to the controller and stuff like that. So I can't wait to use, that chat functionality. But yeah, we got to see how this thing plays out. I just like that they got that long season to mess around, to fix what needs fixing, disable what needs disabling, and implement the right way. And hopefully by Witch Queen, we get that refined product with the new content and the new stuff. So I'm pulling for them. I think they're going to do it, man. I'm a little more positive than Trav on this. I think they're going to pull it off. I think so. But we'll timestamp it. So if it bombs, he can come for me saying, Cog, remember what I told you? Run the tape.
Yeah, no, I want this clipped and I want it
Definitely.
ready to play on demand when we have this final talk about it. But all I'll say is I'm really glad they're gonna have a lot of time to iron it out. I think they will need it, and I think this will be season of the crossplay. Like that's really what this next 6 months is going to be about. Like it's going to be about them getting this stuff right so that they can launch Witch Queen and do it right. So,
I mean, I think that's probably kind of a perfect little segue there, because honestly, I wanted to ask all of you guys, but Drew as well, as we do have the looming season of the question mark, that is going to be a lengthy one. What are your thoughts about looking at a 6-month season? Possibly, we don't know, but that's, everybody's speculating. Crossplay being in there. Is this a point where somebody even like you, who will definitely stream a lot of Destiny and stuff like that, is this a point where you stick with Destiny for the 6 months, still living in the PvP world? Do you take breaks of playing other things? What does this season look like for you coming up? Because it's not going to be a short one.
I'm not sure. I always thought that this season coming up, although it's going to be a lengthy one, seems promising. They've been relatively open about talking about things, at least in the sandbox, as far as I'm aware, that are coming, and their attention on it. And as much as they've said some of these changes and the frequency of these changes is not expected to be normal, they did say that things like, when they did the DMT changes and like 120 these mid-season changes, they said there's going to be follow-up to that as well, or like in that TWAB, and they talked about a bunch of things that are on the radar. So that keeps me hopeful that we'll hopefully really see some mid-season changes that still allow the sandbox to be good in terms of a PvP sense. For me, I don't like a lot of things about Trials, but among my most hated things, even more than cheaters, is third-person peeking. And that's, I believe that's going away in Season 15, if I'm not mistaken.
Thank God.
So that combined with like crossplay, so at least I can get away from the cheaters a little bit more. And even then, like cheaters to me, it's just like, all right, guys, cool, enjoy your win. We requeue, restart, great, whatever. I understand how that could be a little bit more daunting for some other players that were really far in that card and had to, it really took a lot. I get it. Fortunately for me, I'm not really fazed by it. I'm just like, yeah, whatever. All right, take your win, enjoy. I don't know what you enjoy about that, but have fun and just move on to the next game. For me, the third person peeking is really what kills it to me. So that's going to be gone. And even just to avoid the cheaters, I get to play on console. So that alone will give me many hours of enjoyment. But as far as like a long season goes, I don't know, man. Like I'm a big advocate for like if the meta is healthy and enjoyable, the game will continue to be enjoyable, at least in terms of PvP. So like I think it'll be fine. It's always a little like I guess nerve-wracking because Destiny for many people is a game that's like that lives based on the content, what there is to do, and like the relevancy of it, and being new content and things to chase. But like I said, we saw a lot of things this season, mid-season, in terms of like weapons being reprised, new things or reprised things to chase, mid-season patches, and I just don't see a season that long happening without things like that in place. So I'm sure they're well aware of that kind of stuff. So I think it'll be fine. And like I said, if the meta's healthy, and if the meta's good, if it's fun to play, people will keep playing. I think at least I'll keep playing.
November 12th, Halo Infinite drops. What do you do?
Oh, I mean, in that case, I'm definitely playing some Infinite, man.
Oh, we do that Infinite. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
No,
sure.
I think this is going to be season of the
waiting
Halo
so
Infinite
long.
in some
Season of
way.
the
Yeah.
Infinite.
I mean,
Yeah,
that is going to be about
right.
that time because you got, late August it launches, late September, late October, late November. That's a normal season length. So I was going to say, I don't expect anything more content wise than we've had in these previous seasons. Just because the delays there, I don't expect them building, 24 weeks of content or story blips. Because,
Oh,
you want to talk about drip feeding before. God, they can't make it worse. So they need to still deliver the story in a normal time frame. They're 8 to 10 weeks that they do. It's just going to be that the weekly challenge is you're going to have 6 months to do it. But that's going to be the point where, Halo Infinite and anything else that comes out between now and then is going to give you that time. JB's mentioned like Final Fantasy 14, which is stupid busy right now. There's a lot of other things, and I'm wondering how, as you said, Drewsky, if it's feeling good, if Trials is good, if we do, we're going to have, sadly, Festival of the Lost and The Dawning. We know those are coming. I don't expect a lot from them.
Don't remind me.
But I don't expect big changes in those. So we'll be like, everybody will kind of tune in, get the things, check the boxes, kind of pop in and out. Battlefield looks fun with Portal and everything to make crazy, crazy games. So there's other things going on. And I think partially the delay is going to work in Bungie's favor. People are going to be like, oh no, there's the content drought, and people are going to be, but if people can like do the human thing and go play something else to get a little refresher, when it hits in the relatively quiet, because games come out all the time now, but the relatively quiet January, February, March timeframe, there's not going to be nearly everything around it that there normally is. Because normally it's like, hey, Bungie might come out, and then you got Call of Duty, this, Red Dead Redemption, Grand Theft Auto. So many things fall in that fall. That's always been the craziest month for basically anybody in gaming. So now we go to winter when you're just getting done with the holidays, kind of settling back in February. Bam, here's a new season. There's not a lot that's going to compete with that.
Actually, because again, speculation. What I meant for you, especially, I'm just thinking about you because I know you're Mr. Single Player. You like to get your stuff on. Sony stuff might be front loaded at the top of the year too.
Yeah, I heard
a lot of, because we're hearing
That's what they've been
rumbling.
doing.
Horizon might get delayed.
We're hearing that, and to me, that's going to set up a phenomenal 2022 beginning of the year for them. Possibly
If that and God of War are in the same year, are you kidding?
Yeah, that's a phenomenal year.
That's
you know,
crazy.
and me and Maddie were talking about that. So you got that. But now to your point, it's going to be interesting to see how the season plays out. For me, they already gave me my content, which is this announcement. Crossplay is my content.
And that's what I think they're going to put a lot of. I think that's what they're probably betting a decent amount on, is this like crossplay, connecting with people. Hey, you haven't played in a while. Depending on what we hear on the 24th about whatever it's going to be for Witch Queen or whatever we get a tease of, this will be the season of, hey, it's quiet right now. You got a break between games. You want to jump back in. Witch Queen's about to get absolutely bonkers. I can play with you, whatever console you got. Those types of connections, I think, is partially what they're hoping this season is filled with.
Yeah, the last part I make before I give it to Travis, to me, what would be key is with this, if PvP is actually addressed in some way, and like Drewsky is saying, the meta's cleaned up, 3 Peekins out. Now you got bigger trials pools, you got bigger pools where it's not super sweaty, and the meta is balanced fairly. Then it could be fun. And then, but what if you gave us a map? Maybe I'm asking too much.
Yeah.
maybe I'm reaching for this. Go ahead, Drewsky.
Yeah, I think that what my expectation would be is like probably not like too much. I think that some sandbox shakeups. They talked about a lot of things, and it's hard to remember. I don't know if like subclasses were mentioned. I'm not sure. There was so many
they did
things mentioned of like what they had their eyes on for changes, and like in that one massive TWAB, and then like they Chris and Kevin joined us on the Firing Range podcast.
Oh, amazing episode. We didn't even talk about Firing Range. You guys killed that.
Yeah, I listened to that.
amazing
whole
episode.
thing.
Continue.
But yeah, like those kind of
Mhm.
insights, like, and I don't know how soon, whatever it is, like all this information gets jumbled up in my head, right? But I think if there are some refreshers or things being refreshed as a result of that, I kind of expect a little bit of that. So some news, some like appropriate balancing, I'm sure, and follow-up balancing. I expect that to happen, and I think that refreshes the game for a lot of people. The crossplay thing, even if people do fall off, I expect crossplay to be their bet that it'll keep the game feeling healthy. Like your queue times are still going to feel healthy the majority of the time, and you're gonna have people to play with. So I think that's a major bet. And then I think the most that we can content wise, when I say like mid-season content, I mean not like new things, but probably I'd imagine they're gonna bring back some. So like reprise some weapons again, like we saw the Dreaming City and like Moon weapons come back. I wouldn't doubt that we're gonna see like some weapons return with just new perks and just a chase, which is cool to me. So
Drewsky though, but
I don't, I don't think it's bad either to go play like a different game. Like Infinite's
Yeah.
gonna come out, man. I'm gonna play a bunch of Infinite. Like
big
it's
facts.
just how it goes, and then like Destiny will be popping, and we'll be back on it.
Oh, no doubt, Drewsky, but is it too much for me and Travis to ask for one new Crucible map? Is it? Am
See,
I? Am I?
that's
Am I?
the
Am I out of line for asking?
I'll raise you this. So everyone's talking about like there hasn't been a new map in this many days, and this might be a hot take, but I don't care for a new map so much as I care for new game modes. And I actually think that it's probably
I'm with
easier
you.
to develop. I'm not a developer and I don't know whatsoever. I could be completely wrong about this, but I'd imagine it's easier to develop a new game mode than it is a new map. And I think the Destiny is in dire need of new game modes, and I think a game mode or a good game mode has the power to change completely a way that a map is played. Because currently what we have in Destiny is like 50 different flavors of Slayer or Clash. Even Control is Clash. Everything is just kill centric. There's no true objective game modes. There's no major like focal points like you say in Halo. You have Capture the Flag. You have like in COD you got Hardpoint. You had Uplink. Like we don't have those things. We don't even have Rift anymore, right? Like, so I think game modes have the power, probably less resource intensive for them, and still have the power to shake up how current maps feel and bring new like diversity to the game. So like, I don't know, like I'm cool with a map, but like I'm still gonna be if we got a new map, I'm not gonna say no. I'm gonna say, oh, awesome. But then I'm gonna still say, all right, and I have like 50 different flavors of Clash to play on this map. It's just like,
Is there a type
it
of
feels
mode?
stale no matter what.
Is there a type of mode that you would like to see first? Like, what do you think would be most beneficial to the game? I mean, Rift is one I hear about a lot, but is there anything else that they may not be thinking of or people don't generally think about? What mode would you like to see?
I think that I mean, I think the D1 modes are the most logical, just because that feels familiar, and we feel like they have, maybe, again, I'm not a dev here, but like the tech already kind of sort of there somehow, some way, so like it seems within reach. So my only problem with the D1 game modes was that, again, I think their scoring was just wrong. I don't think you should have gotten points for progress or kills in Rift. It should just be you dunk the ball, you get a point. It's pretty self-explanatory type of thing. And I think that salvage was kind of cool, other than I think that the scoring was flawed to be more favorable if you like didn't plant or something like that. Anyways, it should be you plant, you get a point. You don't plant, well, you don't get a point. Or like you don't successfully blow up the plant or whatever, you don't get a point. Those game modes I think would be awesome. If I had to like hand pick a game mode that we've never seen in Destiny, it would be Capture the Flag or Oddball from Halo. I think would be really cool. Like to have like a really, like in Halo you have like the little skull. If we had like a really cool like relic of some sort in Destiny to like hold as like the ball, like I think that would just be kind of cool. But
or Juggernaut, where you just get your super constantly and have damage resistance of 80%, and you just
I mean, like
What,
more
Mayhem on
party game mode, I feel
steroids?
like.
Yeah.
It's more ways to play the game that isn't just Clash, and like 80 different ways to play Clash.
Well, I just wish they would do something to where,
Right.
and I think part of the Sandbox is the issue with this, but you see something like Battlefield with Portal, they'll have like 4 modern 2042 soldiers versus the Battlefield 1 soldiers. It's like 4 versus 100, but they have a machine gun and they have these old bolt action rifles. And you're trying to figure out, can you compete? Like, there's no way for us to do anything remotely that crazy. And obviously, it's not going to be that scale. But also, it's like always the question of, I always remember GoldenEye, pistols only, like one-hit kills and stupid stuff like that that were always fun to do where you could...
SWAT.
Yes, yeah. What is it? Gun game, something where they could do...
Oh, yeah, gun game.
Any of those types of things would give a lot of freshness to Crucible because those are ones you won't take as seriously. But you can definitely have some fun, get into them. Like, I mean, you can definitely be good at gun game and you can get competitive in there. But it's not, as you said, it's just not the 14th version of Clash. Clash controlled just shooting people. It's like, we don't really have much when it comes to objectives. And that's one of the hardest things, objective modes. And it'd be really cool to see any of that type of stuff. But yeah, it's like sidearms only, and everybody gets the same single shot sidearm. But if you could pick this, like, that was what always bugged me, I guess, about private matches. They weren't custom games. I think I said that probably on the podcast forever ago.
Yeah, good point.
Private matches should have been custom games because then you have people making all of the... Okay, so everybody has, void subclasses only. Well, what class are you picking? Well, I don't know. I can go invisible or I can throw Nova Bombs, but I make bubbles. So, like, you could just, certain things that you could limit with custom games, if they gave us that option, would give so much life to it. If I just wanted to go goof around and be like, all right, what crazy stuff has the community made? They bring, the private matches is so limited, and I always wish for something like, but yeah, when you said, I don't care about maps and game modes, yeah, you could do all the game modes you ever wanted with the maps you have right now. So I agree. I think modes...
Mostly.
I mean, okay,
some maps need to be made around the mode, especially if it's Capture the Flag or Rift or something like that.
That's fair.
Longer maps and less, symmetric.
But yeah, definitely more variety in game modes, I think, would go far, because you get 3 more maps in Control, who cares? You get 2 new game modes with the maps we have. I feel there would be more variety there. Maps, yes, take them all day, but I think modes, I agree, would be longer, at least in legs.
I think it's really important because, like, casual, like, it has the power to change the way current maps play and the game plays in so many ways. Like on a casual level, or party game mode. I don't want to say casual. On a party game mode, like level, and just like for fun. That's just an entirely fun, different way to play the game. That's like makes it like it's fun and awesome and hilarious or silly. And then in the competitive aspect, it's like, I remember one thing that sticks out at me is like in Halo 3, the Pit, which is a very pretty well-renowned map if you're familiar with Halo. Like Slayer and Capture the Flag played so vastly different on that map, where in Capture the Flag, you wanted to control a completely different side of the map than you did in Slayer, simply because of where the spawns were weighted and like the way the spawn system works. And that's just an example of like just one map playing like polar opposite different, like just with a flip of game modes. Yep. And that has the power again to refresh your map. Like, Capture the Flag is a tougher one, I think, because like you said, like the maps in Destiny are typically most asymmetrical, but even the symmetrical ones, like we think Javelin isn't exactly completely symmetrical. And on top of that, it's like more this like round kind of like it's not like, again, like my example of the Pit in Halo, where it's like completely symmetrical 3-lane type thing. It's like a rounder. So that's why I think the suggestion of something like Oddball, where you have a player moving objective, would play very well. Or maybe even like Hardpoint, or we can go back to Salvage and Rift with appropriate scoring. Could be pretty cool. Maybe Salvage more applicable to this example. But yeah, my point really is just like game modes, I assume, take less to develop, and I think would refresh the game and the maps we currently have in many ways.
Just wanted to ask Travis for more in reference to like what we talk about this whole long season, what to get out of it, what are you hoping for, to kind of keep you engaged, during this whole thing?
Really, for me,
I'm hoping for.
I was asking Travis. My bad, Drew. I was asking Travis.
My bad. Oh, I misheard. My bad.
You can answer it if you want. He's the guest.
Yeah. Both of you.
I feel so foolish.
You're good.
I misheard.
You good, bro? You good, Drew?
My short answer is just Sandbox changes.
Okay. Sandbox. Okay. Fair enough.
There you go. That is simple too. Yeah, I think for me, what I'm expecting and what I hope for are very different. First, I'll touch on the maps versus game modes thing. I 100% agree that game modes are more important than maps. I think Crucible needs both, frankly. And if you're going to introduce more maps or more game modes, then you probably need maps to go with those. In some cases, probably in most cases, depending on how creative you want to get. If it's party game modes, I think the reason that they have been receding in their game modes in Destiny is because their player base is becoming more and more spread out. And I think crossplay is actually going to be an opportunity for them to say, okay, now we can try things again, because you're only managing two separate player bases. PC is always going to be really strong, and console now is just one unit. And so I think this gives them some freedom to not worry so much about splitting their player base, which is something that they've worried about a lot in recent years, whether it's Destiny Content Vault or controlling the playlists. I have no idea why Scorch Cannon game mode is in the game. Like, it makes no sense. I get it because it's a weekly playlist, but like, it's like the last thing that you need in the Crucible at its current state. So I really hope that they try new things. I hope that they give Rift another shot. I hope that they try new game modes. I would love it if they'd put like a big team battle and actually give like vehicles another shot in Destiny, which was something that they originally tried and then almost immediately gave up on, which is, you know, kind of the story of Destiny's PvP, them giving up on ideas as soon as they don't work out right away. But yeah, I think that would be great. I think now's the time to do it. But I do think that it's not going to happen this season. I think they've probably got bigger fish to fry. I think they're behind on their release schedule already. That's why Witch Queen got delayed. And if it is something that they're planning on doing, it probably won't come to Witch Queen. And this will be season of the crossplay, then figuring out how to do crossplay and cross chat, and also season of Halo Infinite, right? Like, it'll just be me playing probably other games for a lot of it. And I don't say that as a bad thing. I'm a guy who's always said, like, sometimes you need breaks from Destiny, and I like having some seasons that are lighter, because I don't like to feel like this is my second job and I've got to, or my third job in my case, and I've got to commit to playing Destiny all the time, every single day, just to keep up. So what I think will probably happen is this new season will feel really light at the beginning, and they'll probably just do that, 12-week story or 8-week story or whatever it is that they normally do. And once that's over, the stuff that they held back will get released slowly. So if there's like a No Man's Tale type event that happens, it won't happen at the usual like 3 or 4 week slot that it normally does. They'll delay it, and it'll be sort of like Whisper of the Worm, where it was at the tail end of a season and we weren't really expecting it, and it kind of reignited this interest in Destiny. I think that they'll do something like that to drive momentum going into Witch Queen. And so I think that you'll get what seems to be a lighter season, but it'll actually just be they'll backload some of the stuff that they saved, and they'll do the story earlier, and it'll feel like the season's over, and then you'll get more as you go. I think it'll probably be something like that, but I am expecting it to be lighter. I think that fans probably rightfully so by this point have an expectation that it's going to be lighter because it's the season right before a major expansion, and I'm okay with that. There's going to be so much to play in the meantime, and you're right, Cog, that the spring is going to be pretty loaded with games that are going to be like big AAA, but they're also not games that really compete with Destiny. They're single player games. They're offline games that you play when you're for
I got Elden Ring. It better not be about January 20th, because Elden Ring is gonna
I think Elden Ring will probably be before Witch Queen. But I definitely feel for content creators, but it's for players. There's gonna be a lot to do when your friends aren't online, and then when your friends do get online, you can log into Destiny and play. So I don't know that they compete a lot. The fall has sort of become the window for AAA multiplayer games, and then spring is sort of as the story single player games. So I think it works out that Destiny happens to be launching during that window. So I'm not expecting a ton for them to win me over. I think I probably agree with Drewsky that like a sandbox thing is the best thing that they could do, because the PvP community has always selflessly and thanklessly carried Destiny on its back through the hardest droughts, right? And I think that if there's a time to do it again, it's now, when they probably need us to do that. So if they could shake up the PvP sandbox enough to make it interesting and fix some of the stuff that they have told us they're going to fix, especially if they could do a patch for cheating or figure out a way to handle cheating during this time, I think it has potential to really be a really good period of like quality of life improvements, anti-cheat, getting new game modes possibly in queue since they're consolidating their player base finally. Destroying voice chat and making my audio quality a nightmare. All the things that we're looking forward to in Destiny over the next 6 months. I hope come to fruition, even if the content isn't there.
Random question for everyone. Do we think guided games actually gets improved with crossplay?
Oh man, nah. I forgot that was even a thing.
You forgot it was in the game.
Honestly, I forgot about that.
I think Bungie forgot it was in the game.
Yeah. Before you fix guided games, you've got to fix the new player experience.
I get an influx, man. Maybe the Sherpas will get popping with these raids, man. They won't.
People got to make it through the opening and kind of have
raids. There's like one raid now.
That's what I'm saying. If it's gonna work, this is the time.
Yeah, I was like, I'm honestly
the other thing they could do during the season is they could do more Destiny content vault stuff. They could bring back an old raid during this period. They could bring back an old planet as a patrol zone. There's a lot of potential for them to do that during this period since they're light on content. I mean, what would you guys like to see in that? If you
give it to E, what E want to see?
I don't expect, if they ever bring back King's Fall, because that's one obviously that's high. I expect that next year. I don't expect it right now. I don't expect them just to start loading up legends with old raids in seasons is like a thing that they do. Because that obviously was a big selling point for this season. Vault of Glass is a big deal. There's a tease it was coming. Everybody's been waiting. When's it coming? When's it coming? When's it coming? We knew when it was coming. But I mean, next season, some people are thinking, you've got Dreaming City. Is there going to be anything that happens? The story implications also wonder, Shattered Throne. Are we ever going to finish the time loop? Is Marasov going to come back? I'm curious to see what happens in the story more than anything. I mean, Sandbox keeps things fresh, believe me. It's like, but so many things that I do want at this point are with Witch Queen that I'm not that concerned as to season 15 wants or anything like that. So Witch Queen is the bigger one for me.
Fair enough. It's gonna be interesting, man. I can't wait to see how just curious to see how they handle it. That's all. This is a unique time for Destiny. Big, the big expansion delay, longer season, all these different factors as far as Sandbox and, crossplay and, how they handle. And I just don't want 1,000 Iron Banners.
I mean, I was like, unfortunately,
I know
that's what I'm basically expecting in my head is
season of the banana,
season of the events, and season of the banana. Yeah, it's like you are gonna have festival, you're gonna have dawning. Those are gonna be 3 weeks and a month probably. But I mean, you're gonna see.
What if the season was Return of the Iron instead of Rise of Iron, and it was just one long Iron Banner event and
Iron Banner's live for the entire season. Go.
I'm done.
Every
Crucible
weekly
has been disabled. Now it is only Iron Banner. No trials.
Oh, that'll make people mad.
Oh my lord.
No, I was like, I just can't wait for the 24th because I did want to actually ask you guys this because I was talking in chat a little bit as this will kind of be something to wrap up time wise so we can get Drew get some sleep.
Drew's time. Yeah, we gotta get that man some rest.
But with the 24th, do you guys think we're going to get any preview of season 15 before that? Or is it just going to be one big info bomb? Do you think they're holding it all together? So it's just this is everything? Or do you think they'll do the Tuesday trailer or Wednesday trailer, webpage update, and then the 24th when servers go down and they do that? Is that just Witch Queen? Do you think they're consolidated or do you think they're separate?
I think season 15 has a lot. It's a prelude to the Witch Queen, and I think that they give us most of what we need to know about Witch Queen and be hyped on the 24th or whatever that event is, and then we go into season 15 feeling like we're playing, part 1 of the Witch Queen expansion. I think that's probably what. But it'll be more like Season of Arrivals, where we're not really getting a whole lot, but it's sort of like, oh, stuff's falling in line. We're getting closer and closer, but that's my guess.
So you think everything comes on the 24th?
Witch Queen. Yeah, I think we learn about what's going on and what it's going to be about, and we get our, Cade's going to get killed sort of reveal on that day, and then it's all just kind of like teasing and prepping for that in season 15. That'd be my guess.
Drew,
what you think, man?
I don't know. It's tough to say. I am kind of leaning on the edge of like, I think it might just be an info bomb. I'm not sure though. I'm really uncertain.
Yeah, I'm gonna say both. I don't know. This is unique territory. Yeah. I don't know what to expect. This is, I wasn't really expecting this, to be honest. I was just like, oh, we'll get the new season and that's it. And it's like, oh no, we're gonna talk about this Witch Queen. I'm like, oh, okay, we got logos and like, what's this about? So, yeah, I mean, I'm really confused on how they're gonna handle, what, because if you promote Witch Queen hard, it's far ahead. Kind of different strategy, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. This again. I'm very curious to see what this is, where this is going. What about you, E? Like, what are you thinking? What the approach is going to be?
I think. I don't know if we've said it. I know, Travis, you kind of hinted at it. I think whatever happens in season 15, as you said, Travis, is this prologue of Witch Queen. It is the building point. It is really finally lining up the dominoes. May it be whatever happens in this season, I think has enough of a tie to Witch Queen that they don't want to preview season 15 saying, hey, this is the story, this is the villain you're going to fight, these are the things that you're going to do. And then a week later, go, here's the trailer for Witch Queen, because we might have already dug in and figured half that stuff out. Because we had the webpage for season of, what is this season? Splicer. We had the webpage for Splicer, but we knew Expunge was a thing. You go, the definition of Expunge is to remove something, or okay, what are we getting rid of? Then, so again, if we have those little tidbits, everybody goes crazy deep on every word that Bungie puts out there. So if they have half a week or a week to dig into all this trailer and frames and webpage and what are the missions called and all these other things, you get all this information before that Witch Queen preview happens. Either they do that and Witch Queen is so big that didn't even matter, or they just do it all at once because they know the one story is so connected to the other they can't talk about them separately. My guess, I would like to see just, shut down the servers for 3 or 4 hours Tuesday morning. For me, it'd be 8 o'clock to noon. So they shut everything down. And then, at 9 or 10 my time, so a couple hours back, whenever, they just schedule vlog or whatever they're going to do, or Vidoc, sorry, that's their term. Schedule one of those, and it's going to be, 30, 40 minutes of them sitting there having chats, talking about what's coming, saying what's next, explaining kind of, this is, I think, what's going to kick off the final trilogy. And I think this is going to be the big, 40, a big Vidoc. I think this has got to be it. That's my guess, because at this point, I didn't expect this moment to happen at all. I was saying, hey, there was going to be a Witch Queen trailer at the Game Awards when they finally feel comfortable about a date, because the Game Awards are in December.
Because of the delay. Yep. I agree.
So now that we've got the giant Witch Queen logo in August, I'm going, they got to give us a pretty good amount of information now, I think, or at least start, saying what's to come.
And and there's some history here. Destiny 2 got a big summer event that was hosted by Bungie specifically to reveal that, and that was A, in advance, B, in this time slot, and C, sort of building hype way early. I think is kind of their strategy here. But I just don't see how they unlink the two, right? And you can't have this giant info dump for Witch Queen and go, okay, now go hang out with Lord Saladin in Return of Iron season and have him he does all the dialogue for all the strikes on the Vanguard strike playlist.
God.
They can't just have something like that. So I would guess that they've got to go big on this thing, and have you build up hype in the season just like they did for Season of Rivals. And this is their Destiny 3. I mean, Beyond Light was the 3.0 version of Destiny, but they sort of retconned that and said, okay, now we're adding an extra year to Destiny. So this is effectively their 3.0. I think what we'll see on the 24th is what the Bungie employees saw a few months ago and were tweeting about.
Yeah.
I think we'll see that.
When they was yelling Bungie in capital letters.
They were yelling Bungie and saying, I'm super stoked. I think we'll see whatever they saw on the 24th. That's my guess. And it'll just make us super hyped. We'll want to play Season 15, even if it doesn't have a lot to it, just because, we're living in
we'll be
that
hyped. We'll be off the euphoria of it. Yeah. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Does the story, are you one much for the story and the hype and everything, or does Crucible keep you pretty contained, Drew?
Oh, it's
Oh.
funny because Crucible keeps me and build or making builds and sandbox stuff is definitely what holds my attention. But I really try to get into the story because it looks good, and I like my chat always tries to inform because I'm like, guys, I'm trying to pay attention, and I'm really not good at following things, so I'm I need explanations. But so I don't know, TLDR, I give a real honest effort and I'm genuinely interested, but I'm really bad at following, and it's I feel I'm too lost in the sauce at this point. I try. I give an honest effort.
I like that.
I hear you. Yeah, story is gonna be big for me, to see where they go with it. They're clearly trying to set stuff up, and we're seeing leaks already of things and conclusions to things. So we got it. I'm very curious. I want to know how high the stakes are gonna be, and I can't wait, man. That to me, how they set up Witch Queen is very critical for me. I think this is I'm not gonna say do or die for them because look, we're gonna be playing this game regardless. We've been here long enough. But if they want that true Taken King shot in the arm, they got to do something. They got to get us to go, whoa, okay. They not only, because I think the thing about Taken King that people forget is just that not only narratively it was so cool, they also sandbox changed. We got the the subclasses and stuff like that. It was so massive, and I know we're not getting a Forsaken level. I know, but man, it would be a good opportunity for them to really do some changes that people go, damn it, that's what I'm talking about. Now I'm interested. I'm day one pre-order. It's got to be a combination of the narrative, the sandbox, everything, and they get everybody riled up. And then, if they do that, then it's not going to matter. I think, I don't know, Travis said it or Drewsky said it. It's not going to matter if what is it, season 15 is this one coming up? If that's weak, because the euphoria is so high, everybody's going to be like, oh my God, they kill, how they kill Cade or whatever, we gotta, Savathun's gotta get it, or whatever's going on, and just build it up kind of thing. And, maybe to ease dismay, they may have to do something narratively revealed in a trailer to get people emotionally.
I know the marketing machine needs to work, but man, don't kill off Cade in a friggin' trailer. Sorry.
I think we will get something like that. We'll get the Osiris betrayal or something like that. There will be some sort of linchpin because to Drewsky's point, there is a whole player base that are just like Drewsky, and I would argue that they're in the majority who really do not care about story unless it's a headline like Cade is dead, right? Then even the Drewskys are like, what, Cade's dead? Right? So I think they have to do something like that if they want to have universal hype, but I don't know if they will. I mean, it's not Activision. They don't have investors anymore, right? It's not the same, but we'll see.
Poor E. He's like, damn it, if y'all don't stop spoiling stuff and let it be discovered in game, damn it, I can't stand the marketing.
It's just because he can't make a video about it.
He's got sad Affleck right now, and I feel it. I feel the sad Affleck right now because they no one's listening to him, and he's like, damn it, give me one moment where you don't damn spoil it in the trailer. I feel him. I feel you. He needs one where we go, oh, we ain't see that coming, right?
Yeah.
You know, you can have multiple twists in a story, right?
that's
you can give away
fine.
one and still have 3 in your back
Yeah.
pocket. But
It's
yeah,
like,
the
that's-
problem with Destiny is that its storytelling is like you get one twist every 4 years, if that, and that's pretty much their.
Yeah, just don't do that in a trailer, and I'm
Sorry, it's
good.
true.
So. Yeah, no, I mean, I think we can definitely like kind of, we all have our hopes, but I do see the eyes looking much farther out to the Witch Queen horizon. But the 24th will be big. Like the 24th is the day that everybody who's part of this community makes content, plays a decent amount, kind of is curious what going on. If they don't know about the stream and watch it that day, it's going to be on every website. Like, this is what's coming. So that is, whether it's the lead up till then or the 24th is a giant info explosion, it's going to be a big one. So I mean, that's a lot to look forward to, and it may be 6 months away after that, but I still think that's going to be an exciting day. And then Witch Queen, obviously, we say there's a lot of weight on it, a lot, but I think there is. I think there has to be for kicking off the final trilogy, as this was like really the 2.9 of Destiny 3, and then now we're finally going to get our final trilogy. Well, that is about probably a good place to call it, I think. Drew's got to get some sleep before he passes out on us. We're like, Drew, wake. No, I'm just kidding. No, you've been awesome, man. Thank you.
Thank you, brother.
But yeah, final thing is definitely to give you the time to tell everybody where to find you, where they can find you in concert, you know, what's going on, what you got going on. The floor is yours, so anybody who hears this can come find you in your Twitch chat, whatever you got going on. So, sir, what do you got coming, all that stuff?
Yeah, you can mainly find me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Drewskys, and then youtube.com/Drewskys channel, and occasionally on Twitter, Drewskys channel or @Drewskys channel, although I'm mainly, again, on Twitch.
Salute, man. Again, thank you for coming by. Love what you do. Love the insight. You know, I'm definitely glad you mentioned Fire Range, which we didn't shout out, which I mean, just an assortment of, bro, like, I just love it. Just the in-depth sandbox knowledge. Like, literally, if the TWAB was a sandbox every week, I'd be like that. I literally gush and geek out. So when I see you fall out, cool guy, Merc, you know what I'm saying? Like, I love that stuff. Like, I love the minutia of the sandbox and how you, even with your videos, you break down. Oh, great video on the shotgun, the aggressive changes. You know, I really, yeah, dude, you killed it with that, just to show, like, to me, anything that changes the game fundamentally in the Crucible, and you guys' dedication to the Crucible, because damn it, me and Travis, we need that. That gives us life, man. When we see people that care
That's
about
all we have.
That's all we got, man. And you guys are like connoisseurs with that stuff. And yeah, salute to that podcast. Love everyone on it. And salute to you, like I said, for coming through. And I love my PvP guys that bring the knowledge. So thank you for coming by the campfire, sir.
Yeah, you guys are more than welcome. It was a lot of fun. It was fun to talk about a bunch of different stuff. A lot of things that I guess didn't expect to talk about, even that I really enjoyed. So thank you for listening to me and having me here and talking about myself, and sharing some speculation and what's to come in Destiny, and I appreciate it. Thanks for acknowledging the things you did, and I just really appreciate it. So thank you, guys.
That's our pleasure. Absolutely.
Salute.
Well, as we wrap up, thank you, of course, but we'll let these two get out of here first. Travis, what do you got coming?
Yeah,
anything you got on deck that you can talk about? Yours is always secretive, NDA, indisclosure, snipers in the waiting.
No, I can't talk about anything. But
you're not gonna
I am working on
exclusive?
stuff. I can't give you any exclusives. But
He's got to keep his job.
I do. But yeah, you can read my reviews and articles on IGN.com. You can follow me on Twitter @TieGuyTravis, and you can find me on this podcast, the Last Word, or on a podcast Bitcast that I do on Sunday mornings, that you can find on my Twitter. Yeah, that's a new one. So I'm doing that on Sunday mornings.
Apparently,
That's
I got to
me.
get
Thanks
my
for watching,
podcast
guys.
game.
Always,
I'm
always glad to be here.
just doing one podcast up in here, and I got these guys doing like 2, 3. Gotta broaden my horizons in here. Gotta do multiple.
You're a world class
You
YouTuber.
you need those hateful takes. That's really what they're out here for. You gotta just say something real mean and out there. And I'm just kidding. No, but thank you guys for having me on the show as always.
Always,
I love
man.
being
Yeah.
here. And, I'm glad I get to talk about Destiny every week again.
No doubt.
Hey, we found a home for you by the campfire. So.
Exactly. Bring them in.
I was a little stray cat, and you invited me into your.
There's an entire game coming out about that. By the way, did you guys see that? Stray.
No, I didn't know about that.
It's a game called Stray. Yeah, Annapurna did their thing, and it's.
Oh yeah, that was announced.
It's like a whole stray cat. You're gonna have this little like baby backpack, and you have this little bot that'll communicate with people, but you're a cat. Some people who love cats are gonna like just dive into this game. It's crazy. So it's coming. I forget when, but yeah, it's a thing. What about you, Cog? What do you got coming up? Any Iron Lords podcast guests, minutes, all of your things?
Yeah, man, got some stuff going on.
Dukes.
The Duke, shout out to the Duke, shout out to Defining Duke. My boy Matty. We just recorded a couple of episodes. They were up on, did an Ultimate, and we did a regular one, Defining Duke, and they were up on the Patreon now. But the regular Defining Duke will be live publicly for the free on Sunday as well early, so you get that. It was a pretty good episode. Saturday we will revisit the Sega podcast that unceremoniously crashed due to my technical issues. So we got that back.
Sega revisited.
Yeah. I didn't.
Sega Revisited, remastered. There you go.
It hit the soul. As a Sega kid, your joke hit the soul because I was like, "Why would Sega everything got to go wrong?"
Because it always does.
It was that.
That podcast went the way of the Sega Saturn, I guess.
Fact. Yes. It was over quickly,
and then it's gonna last about as long as the Dreamcast. Anyways, continue.
Shots fired. Anyway, but yeah, other than that, then obviously the Sunday Iron Lord podcast, we will have my man Dustin. Dustin can fly from Last Stand Media, so he will be in the realm. We're going to talk some news. We're going to talk some PlayStation. We talk a lot of stuff going on in gaming. So come check that out Sunday 1 p.m. Eastern Iron Lord podcast YouTube channel. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That this weekend, and of course, that Last Word podcast, Thai guy and a cheetah and a ninja get together and talk about this game that we like. So appreciate everybody coming through, especially the fake Lord Cognito that had to show his love, his undying love and support. Salute
that there's
to
a
him
fake one of you running around there.
Salute to the burner account. So love y'all.
He was an incognito.
Salute to him. And again,
Yeah.
salute to Drewsky for pulling up, man. It was really, really cool. But what you got going on, sir?
I got a vacation next week, so I will not be here. So if you guys are looking for the last word, it probably will be off next week unless just like
something crazy happens.
Yeah, if they give you guys like a 20-page Sandbox thing, these two are definitely going to talk about it.
If they want to release the Witch Queen thing early, we
like they'll have to. And then, but the week after on the 13th, I will be like traveling home, but you guys already know what happened on Epilogue, so they might be talking about that one. Of course, I'll be here on the 20th.
That one will do.
The 20th we'll answer some of the questions of if the 20th is either going to be very quiet. If we don't have anything yet, we're like, okay, we have nothing, guys. What do we talk about? And then everything happens on the 24th. But yeah, I got vacation. A couple indie games just like coming up. I played the demo for Grime on Steam, which was fun. Played that for about an hour. Kind of a 2D side-scrolling, little Souls elements to it, little decent combat and dodging. Some of those like Souls indies that look a lot of fun every so often.
You need to play Death's Door. It's
I know that one's definitely on my list.
It is.
I know.
Bro.
Yeah, that one I gotta play. It's definitely on the list. And yeah, so it's just in between this time of like what between seeing what's up with the world of Destiny on kind of a weekly basis, playing some other stuff in between, working through Mass Effect 2 as well. And then yeah, Epilogue when I get back from vacation. Hopefully I come back to something cool.
Travel it down.
Yep, you guys will hold it down. But yeah, Drew, thank you very much for showing up. Appreciate it. Glad to get to know you more. Glad to get a little insight into how you got here. And of course, your scientific cone knowledge takes of everything in the world of Destiny is Always
Love it.
great. Keep doing what you're doing with Fire Team Chat. Keep those guys in shape. Make sure and tell Follow to run a tight ship over there. Keep them in check. Keep them in check. But no, like everything you're doing is always awesome. Even I just literally checked you this morning when you were streaming your Halo bit that you were doing and just working that drill. I'm like, you just click heads. Just if you run into Drewsky and Crucible, just leave the game, find another one. It's probably not going to go well for you. So, but thank you for your time this morning. I know we were a little shaky getting in here, but glad we got you on. Glad everything worked out.
For sure.
But for
like I said, guys, thanks for having me, and thanks. I appreciate it a lot, and thank you for the acknowledgement. It means a lot.
Absolutely. Well, for this episode, thank you guys. It's been a little long this morning, but we will wrap it up. Episode number 160, July 30th. By the time you guys see me, it's going to be the middle of August again. So have a good one, guys. Thank you very much. And for this episode, it has been the last word.
Last word.
All right, as there's nobody to raid on YouTube, we can't really do that yet. I'm just going to shut down the stream. So thank you guys. Go blow up somebody on Twitch and Destiny. Go hit them up over there. Go find a YouTube video of Drewski's and go watch like 20 of them in the background. Give that man some views. And we will see you guys. Firing range. Dude, if you want to learn about cone, angles, aim assist, Mercury's spreadsheets, just, fall into the world of numbers and you'll come out the other side much smarter about this game. Or confused, one of the two. You guys are awesome. Have a good one. We'll see you soon.